Hello, good evening. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Impossible Landscapes here on Lost Caravan RPG. I am your handler that is GM for this system. My name is Doc Rimbo. I use he, she, and they pronouns, and we are glad you're here. We're on episode 5 of this season's campaign of Impossible Landscapes, and things are ramping up. Things are ramping up just a little bit, but before we get to all that, we want to say thank you to Lost Caravan for hosting. We want to say thank you to Epidemic Sound, which is one of our sponsors for tonight. They make all of the music and sound effects that I use here in game. So if you hear anything tonight other than my wonderful agents' voices, you'll know that came from Epidemic Sound. And we want to say thank you to Elsie, who runs tech for us almost every week and is in the background pushing buttons and typing in all caps, and we appreciate them for it. So if you see Elsie in chat, give them some love. I see that they're there right now. Yes, I am welcome. Yes, chat. I am Elsie in chat. Let us go around, and we're going to check in with all of our folkses. Let us know how you're doing. Tell us the name of your agent, and how about if you can remember something that your agent learned in a recent episode? So some sort of piece of information that is pushing them forward, gives them something to think about. That sounds good? That sounds good. I can't see the Twitch window, so I'm going to start at random. It's Turk.
Well, thankfully, I'm actually, that's me.
Are you first in the window?
I'm first in the window. You have called it perfectly.
First in the window, first in my heart. Hey, Turk.
Hey, it's me, Turk, or Turk Accented, if you're also giving your place of work a fake address. I am playing Agent Maltese, and something interesting, of course, that he's found out is that Bryce, one of the orderly who pulled a runner with something in a bag that he only really got half a bit of information about, doesn't apparently live anywhere, or at the very least is lying to the place he actually works for some reason. But
yeah,
so
yeah, that's something that happened last week. You guys tried to tail this orderly with a suspicious gym bag, and you couldn't keep up with him. But when you went to look at his address later, you just couldn't find the place. Couldn't find it on the internet. Couldn't find it in the white pages. Nothing.
So I also learned Boston roads are incomprehensible in order to actually, and they're the real Impossible Landscapes.
Aha! Now you get what the reference is to. Yes, the title for this adventure is about Boston city planning. Is what that's about. Thank you, Turk. Let us move over to our friend Cyberella. Hi, Jana.
Why, hello there. I'm doing okay.
Tell us about your agent. What's something that she's learned?
All right, so I'm playing Agent Maple, and the thing that Agent Maple has learned is we're not on official assignment, and that's a little weird. It's a little creepy. What's going on with that? So found out that the people who should be operating the area are V-Cell, and that we haven't talked to any of the V-Cell members. So that's a little odd. So we're gonna see what happens with that.
Yeah, Maple called a trusted contact who does communications within Delta Green operations. They ran something, around, and they looked into it, and you were supposed to be on Operation India Moon, and they have no record of that operation. And then when you mentioned Exeter, they asked a bunch of questions, like whether you've met with this Agent Vega or Venus, and gave you Agent Vega's real name, which is Michael Whitwer. So yeah, that is possibly creepy, or maybe just bad. Or
either way, doesn't seem good. It seems pretty bad.
It seems a little bad. Thank you, Cyberella. So glad you're here. If y'all aren't in the Discord, it is my favorite place to look at pictures that Jenna draws during our games, and they are always a delight. You should jump in the Lost Caravan Discord to look at those. Lonnie. Hi, Lonnie.
Hi.
Hi.
I am playing Agent Mayday, and one thing that I learned recently is if you're interrogating someone, don't let them go before you check their bag if they're sus. Kind of seems like, maybe I need to work on my interrogation skills a little bit, but
Maybe. Or it could just be that he's just got a gym bag.
he talks
No.
to.
That he talks to. You don't talk to your bags? Your accessories? I talk to my accessories.
Well, I mean, I don't tell
Hey,
it. I
backpack.
don't tell it I'm going to help it get out of where I'm going.
I'm like,
Are the accessories
backpack.
with us now, Justin?
well, my backpack is here. And I'm always like, hey, backpack, why does the inside of you smell like an old sandwich? I haven't had a sandwich in there in ages. You know?
Oh,
That's why it
Right.
smells old instead of like a new sandwich.
Yeah. Right. These are normal things.
like that new sandwich smell, you know?
Also, last week, Lonnie, your agent Mayday got in contact with her brother, who was both lost his job and then was offered a job for a law firm in Los Angeles, just out of the blue, and really needs you to come take care of his cat.
Which I'm sending my husband to do. Yes.
Yes. It's Duck Boat Day, by the way.
It is Duck Boat Day. Yes. Best day.
Hack is calling me Dora the Explorer in chat. I don't know why. Anyways, Colin, save me.
Yes,
Oh,
Dora.
because you were talking to your backpack. Backpack.
That's right. Thank
Oh,
you.
Backpack. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you. Why do you smell like a sandwich? Colin, tell us about your age.
Hi. I am Colin, as you said, or in a language that does not exist. So I'm playing. Oh, hold on a second. I'm playing.
Right now, you're Colin.
And now I'm Magnolia.
Now you're Magnolia.
Who somebody remind me, chat, I want you to be on me about this today. I keep forgetting the fact that Magnolia's voice is up here, and I keep wanting to go down into this like Brad Pitt and Inglorious Bastard sort of range, and that ain't it with him. He's up here. If you hear
know
me
what it
slipping down
is?
low, give me a kick.
You know what the tone is when you're up high like that? It reminds me of Walter Goggins.
I have no idea who that is.
Look it up. You will.
Okay. Well,
Anyway.
yeah. So, yeah. Well, a thing that I recently learned that I found to be rather upsetting is the fact that one of my buddies from the army is in this facility that we're investigating. So that's not really relevant to the investigation, but it sure is relevant to me. As far as things that are actually relevant to the investigation, I recently came to learn that the date May 27th is weirdly significant as the day when all kinds of weird shit started happening around this facility and all the security footage got deleted.
It's true. That is when that security, the info failure, the failure, the computer glitch happened more recently, but it erased stuff all the way back to that time. That's also
Right.
around the same
A 3-month
time
period.
that you found a record saying that Emmett Mosby came to visit.
Yeah.
Which was familiar-ish to some people. And yeah, it does seem like some strange stuff started happening around that time period. Yeah. But yeah,
the
you
last
did.
like 4 months or so. Yep.
Right. Yeah, you met one of your former Army friends, one of your friends from Army.
From Army, when I was in Army.
Right. When you did Army. And he was almost set to be released and then confided in Magnolia that sometimes he sees marionettes walking around the halls at night. And trusted him with that information, and Magnolia narked on him.
I
real
narked
good.
on him. After, in case anyone's curious why I did this, he narked on him after telling him not to tell anybody purposely so that it would set up an adversarial confrontation with the nurse, which would be more likely to keep him in for longer. So, I'm a bad person. Excuse me.
No.
Colin is fine. Sorry.
Well,
I think I'm a decent person. I, however, am a real piece of shit. Pardon my cursing.
Pardon your cursing. Speaking of cursing, this is a horror game and it has adult content, like the occasional curse word or reference to finger banging. It also has additional disturbing stuff like violence and death and body horror and insanity, both mechanically and narratively. We have spent some time in psychiatric hospitals, but worse things are coming. And so viewer discretion advised.
Promise.
Just sort of, take a break if you need a break. We all use safety tools. You should use them too. As a quick recap, I'm trying to think anything else. Last week, we heard about some news from our personal contacts. You looked around the Dorchester just a little bit more. You talked to the security guy, and all this footage was missing, but they still had a lot of paperwork. So you got a list of patients, you got a list of people who worked at the Dorchester house, you got a list of visitors, all that info. And then you sort of left just as they were about to go into their evening lockdown around dinner time and headed on back. When you did, I think the two big things that we sort of got at the end were Maple called into her Delta Green contact, who had no idea what Operation India Moon was. And then Margin, in her room by herself, found first a note in her pocket that she remembers that one of the patients, Ed Wist, was carrying around. And we, as your characters, don't know this yet, but we as viewers know that the note read, oh shoot, what was it? I mean, I could just look it up. It's right.
How did you find me? How did you find me? I thought you had left. In any case, they are still here at night.
Which is an interesting note, but also very unspecific in terms of like who, what, where, we don't know all those things yet, but intriguing. And then, of course, she got a DoorDash delivery of calamari from an unknown source with an area code she didn't recognize. And that's where we leave it. Let me put
Spooky
on
calamari.
Spooky calamari music. Let me just get up the calamari, the squid
Funky
music.
little squid.
Funky little squid.
Get out the B-52s. Get it out.
Here we go. And we can start. In 3, 2, 1. Deception is a right. Truth is a privilege. Innocence is a luxury. Knowledge is death. Born of the U.S. government's 1928 raid on the degenerate coastal town of Innsmouth, Massachusetts, the covert para-governmental agency known as Delta Green opposes the forces of darkness with honor, but not without glory. It is 2012, 3 years before our current situation, and we are in an unknown location. It is a building. It has cinder block pitted walls. The lights here flicker with a sick fluorescent intensity. It's obviously some kind of holding facility because there are bars over the windows, there are heavy doors, and one of those doors swings open as we see two men in uniforms with writing that we probably don't know how to read in it. They're carrying a man between them. This man is dressed in an army issue ribbed tank top that is stained with sweat and blood, but it's also soaking wet. He can't walk, so they are dragging him down this hallway with a cement floor. And from the waist down, it looks like he's in briefs and barefoot. So we watch as his bare feet drag along the cement Getting a look at his face, it is someone we don't know. But it looks like they have been through hell. They are bleeding from one nostril. They are... they look exhausted. Huge bags under their eyes. Eyes just barely open, but in a daze. And again, their head also is just sopping wet. We get a look as they walk by and see that several of his fingernails and toenails have been removed. But he doesn't appear to be broken. He has like the hint of a defiant sort of smirk on his face as they open up another one of those heavy holding cell doors and put him in a cell that's lined with bars. And in the holding cell next to him, we see someone familiar. Colin, do you want to describe how Magnolia looks in this situation?
Much the same. He doesn't have his. I need to be able to see something, but he doesn't have his glasses. I think he has one eye that's just completely swollen shut, where he's clearly been punched repeatedly. He's, compared to the way we see him now as this big kind of beefy mountain of a man, he's much, much, much thinner. He's at least 50 pounds lighter. His clothes are kind of hanging off of him, and they're all torn and scorched in places. Much like this guy, his hands are bloody and raw. He's missing. There are some fingernails that were pulled off and some that just fell off due to malnutrition. He's missing teeth. His beard is very patchy. He hasn't eaten properly in 2 years. So his hair is falling out. His skin is sunken and jaundiced. The eye that's not swollen shut, the other is just bloodshot from lack of sleep. He has wounds and pockmarks just all over his body, a lot of which we can't see underneath his rags of clothes, but there are wounds all over his flesh that in the modern day, as we know him in 2015, I think only Maltese would have seen, but are just scars that he bears to this day. And he is leaning against the wall, just kind of with his head staring at the ceiling until he hears the footsteps coming down the hallway, and then he perks up and awaits this man's arrival.
Okay. They toss this man roughly into the cell next to his. These cells are like right up next to each other with bars separating the two of them. As they throw this person into the cell, he sort of like lays on the floor in silence for a second, and then he starts laughing. And he's like, all right, see you tomorrow. Oh, fuck. And he like spits, and he spits up this mixture of blood and then like coughs and then coughs up some water. And
he leans back and laughs a bit. It's waterboard again today.
Honestly, they think it's something more creative. And what's the definition of insanity? Is you do the same thing, expect a different result. I've been waterboarded every day this week.
Yeah, you keep up like this, they're gonna have to start trying something new eventually. You got any fingernails left to pull off?
No, I got a couple toenails, but I've already come to. He coughs again. Says, I already come to terms with losing those. Said my goodbyes. Roast beef.
Rest in peace. Duke's toenails.
he pushes himself up into sort of a on all fours and drags himself over to the bars that separate your two cells and sits with his back to you against the bars. He says, "Shit. What'd they do to you today, Bucky?"
I'm sure you probably heard me yelping all the way down here. I apologize for that, but you know, they got out the jumper cables again today, so it's awfully hard to not make a few noises. But
Yeah.
keep to the training, though, right? Name, rank, and serial number.
Serial number, yeah. And then there's silence. There's like 5 minutes of silence. And this guy, who you know as Duke, speaks up and he says, "Shit, I used to just fill my ears with noise all the time. Fucking television, radio. Used to work construction. It was loud all the time. And then I didn't know how beautiful silence was before I come in here, they blast fucking Nickelback in my ears."
Fucking evil, man.
And you see his shoulders roll forward a little and start to heave.
Whoa,
And
hey, you all right? You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. You realize that he's crying. "I'm sorry, I was thinking about my mom."
Dude. Sir. Sorry. Listen, we talked about this, right? No good comes of thinking about that stuff.
I know.
We're already dead. As far as the army's concerned, we're already dead.
We don't gotta be. I mean, I could. I don't know, shit. Bucky, if we don't. Do you see me as a strong person?
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, there's a reason. Look, Duke, we graduated Ranger School together, but you're already an officer and I ain't. There's a reason for that. You're a tough son of a bitch.
I'm not one to question the mission. I'm not one to question our directive. Starting to question myself, if I'm being honest, I'm starting to question how much longer I can keep this up, laughing in their face and name, rank, serial number. And he's wiping tears and snot from his face with his back still to you.
Look at me. What do you mean, how much longer? 1 day more. That's it. It's just 1 day at a time.
Been saying that for 2 years, Bucky. We can give him a bone, something, and then I don't know, maybe they'll go easier on you.
What are you talking about?
Just, I don't know, something for them to gnaw on. It's more than name, rank, serial number. Nothing that'll compromise too much. Just, I don't know. Just,
Are you talking feeding them bullshit? Or are you talking about Something real.
Oh, you know these fools. If we feed them bullshit, they come back harder the next time. It takes them about 6 hours to find out we're lying. Talking about just something mundane like just the name of Delta Force, or I don't know, like that we're here on purpose, that we didn't just wander into China by accident.
Duke, you can't do that. You know you can't do that.
If I do that, it's not for me, it's for you, Bucky. I mean, I'm your commanding officer. I'm gonna make sure that you get out of here alive, even if it means they put my ass on the fire.
Duke. Sir. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And as he's saying okay, he's
Okay.
reaching for a blanket.
Mm-hmm.
They only think they're on like bare concrete floor, but they just have like a blanket to cover them.
Yeah.
And as he's saying okay, he's very slowly reaching for that blanket and pulling it toward him. And he says, okay, Duke, I understand. You do what you got to do. I just want you to know, sir, it's been a real honor serving beside you.
No. You're the strong one, Bucky. It's an honor to be your lieutenant.
It's been an honor, sir. And he pulls the blanket through the bars and over his neck and his mouth and pulls back as hard as he can on the bars.
And Duke's body struggles and convulses.
No,
And-
shh. Quiet, be quiet, please be quiet, shh.
And after a while, Magnolia gets his wish. And when he's done gasping for air, Duke sort of falls limp. His body slumps down against the bars again and keels over, lies motionless on the floor.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. You taught me the mission comes first. And he leans back against the wall and repeats to himself, name, rank, serial number. Name, rank, serial number. And then as he's doing that, he looks over at Duke and has this just depraved smile for a moment that he knows he shouldn't have, but it just comes to him. It feels wrong, but he can't stop this reflex in his body as he looks at Duke and reflexively just mumbles, 84. Name, rank, and serial number. Name, rank, and serial number. And he waits
zoom in
for the footsteps down the hall that he knows will come.
and we zoom in on Magnolia's face as he repeats this mantra over and over, saying, name, rank, and serial number, name, rank, and serial number. And just a nice little crossfade to the same set of lips about 3 years later at the Stone Motel in Boston, Massachusetts. As Magnolia is in his room. What's Magnolia doing on the morning of Thursday, September 3rd of 2015?
Well, for one thing I think it would works quite nicely here is if it's the next morning, is that everything we just saw was a nightmare that he just had.
Could be. It
So-
also could be a nightmare that he has when he's awake.
That's true.
So yeah.
It's a bit of both, but I think that that night, probably in his sleep, Maltese would have heard Magnolia repeating name, rank, and serial number as he slept.
I think that's good.
Take 2 pillows and cover over the heads.
And I think that as he's doing this, Maltese is trying to drown out Magnolia's nightmare when at, I don't know, what time is the alarm set for?
7 a.m.
All right, at 7 a.m., the little shitty motel alarm clock goes.
Magnolia shoots it. Just kidding. He doesn't shoot it. That would be stupid. It'd be funny, but it'd be stupid.
Yep.
I think Magnolia is one of those guys that when the alarm goes off, like the moment, it's like that runner used to say, like, he wouldn't just run when the gun went off, he would run at the B of the word bang. Like, the second that the alarm blares for he immediately slaps it. Just instant.
Excellent.
And just like bolts upright in bed
I love it.
and is just getting dressed.
Jumps out of bed like Wallace and Gromit. Starts getting.
Wake up, sunshine.
Wait, what time is it? What time is it already?
7 a.m. sunshine, rise and shine.
Oh, ready?
What's the matter? You have a long night?
No, you did.
What are you talking about?
Fucking talking in your sleep, man. Out
I don't know what you're talking about.
silliness. I don't even know.
Sounds to me like you were dreaming.
5 more minutes. Or maybe
Rip the blankets off of him.
no.
What does Maltese wear when he's sleeping?
He's got like sweatpants that are obviously branded.
Right.
Remember his local.
FDNY sweatpants. Yep.
Yeah. Technically Jersey City. But
Thank you. Okay.
Is it across the butt? Is it like Juicy pants? Is it like
Juicy
FDNY
City.
across the-
They sold them as a fundraiser.
Juicy City.
Yes. Juicy
When we get a
City
merch store, Juicy City is happening.
ceaseless
Juicy
watch
City
or cast your
sweatpants are gonna be
gaze
so
upon this
good.
wretched thing.
Mhm.
No. But yes, you just usually sweatpants and whatever because it's September, so it's still summer. Yeah, so he's not sleeping in like a shirt or hoodie or anything. So yeah, he's just kind of like curled up, like very clearly with a pillow wrapped around his head, and just goes more fetal at the exposure to the cold air of the morning. Just come on, man.
And as he stands over you holding a blanket in one hand, he feels things that are uncomfortable.
I want to explore.
And no,
this.
it's not sexual tension, Chana.
Oh, never mind.
That was all that face
Too late,
was.
she already
I'm
drew it.
worried.
She already drew it.
No.
It's too
No,
late.
not yet. Yeah, I got
Fine.
permissions now for certain things. But that wasn't what I was thinking. That was a reaction for the fear for Maltese, my boy.
Fine,
let's-
fine. I'm getting out. Don't stop me. Just
All right, and he does that thing where he basically just rolls himself out of the bed in order to just wake himself up hard on the floor. Fucking only upside to Boston, so they got a coffee shop on every fucking corner.
And I was actually great transition. I was going to say, you do one small mercy is that you do smell that last night Magnolia set the timer on the coffee maker, so it is already brewing. As you hit the ground, you get the first whiff of shitty hotel bean water.
You sure you're gonna drink that? Like Dunkin' Donuts
What are you-
is right around the corner.
What's wrong with this coffee? It's ground.
Well,
got hot
yeah,
water in it.
it tastes like the ground. And hot is very generous for what it is.
He smiles and says, "That's really funny, Maltese."
Is it? I haven't slept enough to know what's funny right now.
All right. You want to run to Duncan?
A
Be my guest.
walk. And he goes and slides on a workout hoodie kind of thing. Basically, it's exactly. I know exactly what kind of hoodie it is. The hoodie where the sleeves are cut off, so it's still like early morning wear.
That's what he goes jogging in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And
you really need to stop making this character so sexy.
no. But he'll just like grab at his phone and wallet, and I'll be back. Just see if anyone else wants any. I'll text. Never mind. And
speaking of anyone else, just curious. I'll let you guys tell me because we didn't really do this. What is the plan? When did you say to meet up, and where with the other agents? It's arbitrary.
Well, okay. So, Magnolia, Maltese, and Margin are all staying at the Stone Motel, but Maple's not, right? And neither is Mayday.
Correct.
Right. So we have to go to them.
Mm-hmm.
I think, well, for one thing, I think I'll try to rouse Margin, but I know where that's going.
Yeah,
but
we can do it real quick if you want.
Sure, yeah. He does a very awkward pound on the door.
You hear a noise from inside, go, yeah.
Get up.
What?
Get up.
I'm sick.
Calamari hangover. Nasty.
You do see, like, you know how in like nice hotels, like 3-4 star hotels where there's room service, people leave their tray in front of the door.
Yeah.
There is a plastic bag and an empty styrofoam container outside of her door.
Is there like
She's
puke
got
in
the
it?
calamari head over. No, it's just the calamari hangover. And she says, come back later.
You know what? I don't even care. Okay. If you need anything, call somebody else.
You get no response.
All right, bye. I'm leaving now. Here I go. Walking away. Last Chance Saloon. Oh, okay. I'm just fucking with you now.
Let's check in with the others. I want to see Mayday and her husband.
And her husband.
Her husband. What are they doing?
Well, they are not waking up at 7 a.m.
Okay.
Well, I guess it actually does depend. What time did we say that we were going to meet up? Because am I doing a duck tour early in the morning? Am I doing one later in the day? Like, it's very important.
Y'all tell me. Oh,
Colin,
muted.
you're muted.
Looks like he has an opinion.
Oh, sorry. I think it's totally reasonable that it was later in the day, but that Magnolia is just an unreasonable human being that woke up Maltese at 7 in the morning because that's when he gets up.
Okay. So we are not waking
like
up at
afternoon.
7 a.m. Okay. And then so maybe we'll get an early start, but like not 7 a.m. still. One second. Let me check the duck tour schedule.
Yes.
I want to
Yes. This is
see.
one of the
I want to
nice things
see what
about
time
Delta
they
Green,
leave.
is it exists in our reality, sort of. And so if you need to know when duck tours start, just look it up. You know?
Looks like
That's
they
what
start at 9 a.m.
Okay. We'll get on the first one at 9 a.m. So that still
Okay.
gives us time to wait, like sleep in until, 8, like normal people. And I mean, still early, but 8, go grab coffee from some unreasonably priced coffee shop.
Mhm.
And
I'm imagining,
What?
and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm imagining that you and Sam are staying like at a nice-ish like Hilton Hyatt place, maybe downtown-ish or whatever. So yeah, there's a
Absolutely.
coffee shop in the lobby.
perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I ordered
It's
2
more
cups just to be able
expensive.
to, put me through the day.
Right. And when you get back to the room, like you go down to get the coffee, and when you get back, Sam is like full on dork vacation mode. Like he has shorts on and he's wearing socks, not tube socks. He's wearing socks that are pulled up halfway up the calf to their full extent. He's wearing comfortable walking shoes, a fanny pack. You know what I mean? He looks excited.
So
all right.
I have decided that Mayday is going to try to put her all into this because she knows this is like what got him to come in the first place, and she knows she's kind of been like dodging his questions and everything. So she is going to try to match his energy. I don't know if she packed matching tourist clothes, but you know, she packed like the typical like what she thinks a girl who's going to be going sailing would look like, and it's, you know.
I'm just gonna like break all the rules here. This feels like, oh gosh, this feels like almost like a willpower type of situation, because willpower as a mechanic in this system is basically just your spoons, right?
Okay.
It is your willingness to keep going.
Oh boy.
And so I'd like this would be a power check. So roll me a power times 5,
Okay.
and we'll see if you can fake this. Like just fake enthusiasm.
It's not that I'm even like faking it. It's just like I know there's other things
yeah.
on my mind,
You're
but I
distracted.
want to make sure that I like have. Okay, 11.
You sell this.
I
Sam, entirely.
one thing that I do
crit
wanna
your
make sure-
relationship.
What?
Hell yeah.
Mhm.
I'm
You just
saving my
crit success
relationship.
on your relationship.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm. Yeah, go ahead. Please.
I was going to
describe
say
what it
one thing
looks
I
like.
do want to note is that usually she wears her wedding ring like around her, like on a necklace, but she's going to make sure she's actually like wearing it on her like finger today. Like, you
Yeah.
know, all strings. Like,
Yes, I love that. And just so you know, going forward, we can role play this duck boat tour out if you want. But basically, with that, you had crit success here, so I'm going to say that like it's almost predetermined. This is going to be a great time, and it's going to be a great date. And I'm going to say that your bond with Sam goes up by 1d4, so you can roll 1d4 and add that to your bond score with him, just because like you did put your all into it and you critically succeeded in terms of like enthusiasm and being here for it. And
it's higher than it ever was before.
nice.
Is that the first time a bond's ever gone up in Delta Green?
Maybe?
Hey,
Hearing.
I brought
the way
my
I run
husband
it.
along on a Delta Green mission. Not everyone
Yeah.
does that.
Yeah, it's happened on both of our seasons so far.
Oh,
Well,
has it? must have
not
forgotten.
really husband, but last season, Colin's agent did bring his girl.
Did bring my girlfriend on the last, yeah.
I just think it's hilarious.
And we both ended up thralls to the Yellow King, so
See, with the 11%, I'm gonna hope that means that there's no Yellow King involved in the state.
You can keep on hoping that if you want.
Hey, listen, everyone needs a threesome with the Yellow King. That's how it works.
That is a horrible sentence.
It's a night you'll never be able to forget, literally.
Yeah, exactly.
Describe the first part of this date for me. What do you guys do?
So I think I think he goes full ham into the whole tourist thing, and he already has a brochure, and he's making sure, you know, we're getting there on time, and if not a few minutes early, and you know, we're
He
both
bought a disposable camera, even though his cell phone has a camera.
Yep, just for the artsy view of everything. We do like a little like cheers with our paper coffee cups to start the morning. We walk around, we make sure, you know, like we left enough time that we'd actually be able to take like the scenic route to get to the location we're meeting up with the duck tour boat. Being able to walk by the water before we're even getting on the water.
You see Old North Church, some other historic shit.
He probably knows most about what we're going to learn about on the tour before we actually go on the tour. But then I think once we're actually on the boat, I think he still laughs at every single joke that they try to make. Like the classic, oh, this is where you can have a cold Sam Adams right across the street from a cold Sam Adams.
Yep.
And I think, you know, there'll be one of those moments where like I see him like very wholeheartedly, genuinely laughing at that. And, you know, it'll be one of those moments where just kind of rekindles that like excitement for something.
A few things here. First, roll me an alertness check.
Okay. to see if Colin has been trailing me, or Magnolia has been trailing me this entire time.
I'll roll a stealth
Ooh,
check, motherfucker.
Fumble.
You think
Not
I
bad.
won't?
You just ran the gamut. Yeah. No, everything is cool. It's a great
Hey.
day.
I'm just so happy that nothing can bother me today.
Mhm. And so you are done with the duck boat part. You're gonna go get lunch somewhere. And shit. For those of you who can't see this, which is I think everybody, Colin did roll a stealth check in case Magnolia was following them, and also fumbled. And so, but you
I fumbled
too.
with a 99. I got a 99.
Space plant.
The only reward we get from this, because it's really just silliness, is that we see you two on the duck boat tour, and you're sitting there on a bench. I don't even know if there's benches. There's probably benches on this duck boat. And you're sitting there next to each other, and then the camera pans, and 2 rows back from you is Magnolia in a horrible disguise, and drops his drink, and it spills everywhere, and
He's wearing a marine, or he's wearing a navy hat instead of an army hat.
disguise.
Impossible to know now.
Fantastic.
I just want to. I don't even want to be rewarded with any knowledge of Lonnie's husband or of Mayday's husband here. I like the idea that Magnolia just got on the wrong duck boat, so he's just stuck on a duck boat tour by himself, but wearing a captain's hat and a stupid Groucho Marx disguise, but just enjoying a day on the Charles River.
Enjoyed a day on the harbor.
Baven in chat just made a Dr. Horrible reference that I really appreciate. Okay, so the duck boat tour ends, and as you're walking back to you're walking to this restaurant, a downtown place where you're gonna get some lunch. Going for, I don't know, but he wants lobster rolls. That's what he wants.
Of course,
And,
can't go to Boston without one.
Right. And so he sort of gets hit with this realization. He says, "Oh shoot, how's your conference going? I haven't even asked."
It's great. I'm learning a lot.
Like what?
Meeting a lot of good colleagues, and
Oh,
just being able to feel like I'm really making my way in the industry.
that's great, hon. Yeah, I mean, it's real nice to have something like you got that's real, secure, and sometimes I hear news about the recession, people losing their jobs, and
I'm
it's
sure
just
you don't have anything to worry about, Doctor.
Oh well, I guess people are always going to get sick, but I'm just happy that you're enjoying yourself. I'm really glad we came on this trip.
Too.
Well, do you tell him at some point about the call from your brother?
I think it'll be something that kind of casually happens over lunch. She'll try to brush it off. Oh, by the way, Adam called. Speaking of job stability, he got laid off and then managed to find a job literally the next day.
Oh, that's
Weird,
good.
right?
Yeah, I mean, that is unusual. But I mean, he's good with computers and stuff. He probably he knows the right people, called on some favors or something like that. Oh, great. That's terrific.
Yeah, it's weird. It just doesn't really happen in the history field that much. So I almost probably wasn't as supportive as I should have been right away, because he said he didn't even apply for it. I don't even know if he's heard of the place before. And they just reached out to him. But maybe that's just how computer science works. You can find people on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I didn't. Maybe I don't know. It kind of feels like a conspiracy theory. I don't want to say it.
You know what? Humor me.
But what if this place that wanted to get him a job had to like get him out of his old job first or something like that. Like headhunters or something. So they got it laid, they arranged it so he would get laid off or something, and then they could swoop in and grab him, you know?
Yeah, that's wow.
That's terrific. Is it Chicago?
No. Oh, you know what? So apparently the job is out in California, and he called me really last minute. He was trying to see if someone could take care of his cat. You know, did we give the cat a name last time?
I think we did, but I forget what it is. So let's say Sprinkles.
Sprankles. He was trying to ask me if I could make it out, but the conference doesn't end for a few more days. You remember Sprinkles, right?
Yeah, like it's real old.
Yeah, apparently needs some medications, but you've been around before when he's helped out, right? When
Oh yeah, sure.
given
He's
medication?
just diabetes, so he just needs insulin and it keeps his blood
course.
sugar monitored and stuff like that. It's pretty easy stuff. I'm sure someone can handle it.
You know, is there... I don't know. I feel like he's having trouble finding someone if he's asking me. Do you want to maybe start heading home before me and see if you can help out? I'd really appreciate it. I'm already kind of worried about him. It'd be good if you could, check in on him, make sure he seems okay. That whole conspiracy thing you're talking about and everything. Make sure he's okay. Make sure the cat's okay. I hate to cut our trip short, but...
He pauses for a minute, and you sort of brace yourself for the, sort of not necessarily being upset, but maybe disappointment and guilt and, all that fun stuff. And he like chooses lobster roll for a minute, and he goes, "Yeah, sure. I mean, I got stuff to do for work, and it's probably good for me to be back for that. Well, yeah, I can handle it. It was like a quick turnaround, right? He needed someone soon.
Yeah, like I said, if he was calling me, I guess he really needed somebody because I don't
Okay.
like he knew I was out here, so. And she's gonna like reach her hand across the table for the hand that he's not holding his lobster roll in. And like look him just very earnestly in the eyes and just be like, I really appreciate this.
He sort of sets the lobster roll down. He had it with both hands, and he
I just have my hand like emptily out on the table for a second, just like palm up.
and he reaches back. He reaches out, and he doesn't hold your hand. He squeezes it.
And I squeeze back and
And he says, "You want me to leave the car here with you? I can fly, or do you want to? Do you want me to drive back and then?"
Would he be able to get back to Chicago? Is it tomorrow that my brother has to leave?
That's what your brother said. Yeah, Friday.
Okay. How about I'll get you a ticket to get home, okay? It seems like he needs the last minute, so I'll help out with this because you're taking on a cat last minute. So.
He's back at the lobster roll, and he says, "All right, I gotta pee," and he stands up. That's the bathroom, and you look down at the table, and just like the energy is really weird around this whole thing, and you feel something like cold and slimy, and you realize it's the mayonnaise. And you left a stain on your hand.
For a doctor, he's a real slob sometimes, and she kind of just brushes it off on her hand, on the napkin.
Let us fast forward a bit to, let's check in with Maple, our beloved Maple. What's she doing as the time to meet as a group approaches?
Well, Maple would have gotten up. She's an old lady. She went to bed pretty early, so she's getting up really early.
Please
So she would have
remind
been.
everyone. Please remind everyone how old she is.
Well, see, Maple is got the supple, beautiful skin of like a 60-year-old. In actuality, she's about 82. So, especially for a Delta Green agent, she fucking ancient.
Hmm.
But honey,
Yeah.
she's fine. But she would have been up actually at 6 a.m. And such. She would have started doing some background searches because before she's got to go to the lab to drop off those blood samples.
Heck yes. Please tell me who or what she researches first.
Okay. Well, she's got a little bit of a grocery list, so let's go through my grocery list here. So the first one she wants to check out actually is going to be, originally was going to be Orderly Bryce, but I'm going to put Orderly Bryce a little bit on the back burner because I want to know about that. I want to know about that beautiful Agent Margin. What's up with her? She's having some weird reactions to some 80, to 95 stuff. And I'm a little curious about that.
You've noticed that Margin has had these reactions to things. Maybe it's something somebody says or something you've found or seen that's weird, and she just freezes or kind of goes into like this state where she just has that 1,000-yard stare. So I'm gonna ask you first. I could look it up, but I'm lazy. What's your computer skill?
My computer skill is a 70. Yes.
Okay.
A 70.
All right. And what else might you use? How about bureaucracy?
My bureaucracy is a 71.
Okay. Those are both excellent scores. They're very, very good. Okay. So when we're using those skills, I won't have you roll every time. Just if it's something that's tough. And this is tough.
Understandable.
Because you know very little about her, and you'll have to pull some strings to get information on Margin and their real identity. So tell me what you know, and tell me how you go about checking her out.
Okay. I think I don't know very much about Margin. The only thing I do know is that she's her in real life kind of thing.
Yeah.
When she isn't Agent Margin, she has written some young adult novels or kid novels. So I know that she's an author.
She lives in Chicago. I think that's come out too.
Yeah, so those two things I know about. What I want to find out is if she has been an active member of Delta Green before this.
Okay. It feels like the first step to that would be knowing what her real identity is.
Okay, then I will look up her real identity.
Okay, this is a tough one. I'll let you choose either. It's got to be bureaucracy. I think it's got to be bureaucracy for this one. But we're gonna do it we're gonna do it at a -20.
Okay.
Because Delta Green agents tend to cover their tracks.
It's a failure then.
Okay. Yeah. You hit a bunch of dead ends.
That actually makes sense too. She's got a better computing skills than I got.
Oh yeah. Either, well, that's it. Like, you're unsure. Either she's covered her tracks really well and has hidden her real identity from everyone she's worked with. But as you we'll say this, as you go through connections and people who owe you favors and stuff like that, and ask about Agent Margin, nobody's ever worked with her before. So that's your dead end right there. Is you don't find anybody who's like, yeah, I was on a mission with them. Yeah, nothing.
I mean, that's pretty sus on its own.
Yep. So you'll have to take another tack,
Okay. I have a different idea on that, but that's gonna be a later one, I think. With that one, that wouldn't occur to her quite yet. So we'll go. Yeah. So we'll go back down my list. Let's look up an Orderly Bryce.
Okay.
Want to do an actual background check on him.
You look up Richard Bryce. You do a standard background check, but also in depth, that people in law enforcement would use. I would imagine I could probably look this up. I'm sure that in the Delta Green Agent's Handbook the section at the end with all of the tradecraft, there might be stuff about, background checks and identity information and stuff like that. But you have some sort of resource like that. No role necessary. Richard Bryce was his name. I believe we said last time he's 23, I think. 23 years old. Local. Grew up in Darby, Massachusetts, which is not too far away from Boston. Only child. Mother still living, father deceased, died 10 years ago. You keep digging. High school, he did a technical college in healthcare, sort of a more generic degree. And then immediately started at the Dorchester House. Right after that, is a member of a local Episcopal church. On the rolls there, like they have their membership rolls listed, and his name is in there along with his mother, and has his address, which is same address that came up empty last time. And that's all you find. Oh, wait. You find a gym membership. He's part of an Orange Theory gym.
That's Eldritch right there.
That is Eldritch.
Okay.
No
Sorry,
crimes.
highly distracted. Okay, let's see. Do I want to... It's too early to talk to his mom, so I'm going to wait on that one. But I wanted to do then a general, basically another background search. This one's probably a little bit more generalized on the other members of the staff. And specifically looking for anything kind of like out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
So yeah. Or anything that would get them back to New York during the 80s, like 95.
Any connections to New York 95, that case, all that stuff. You start at the top and you work your way down. Start with Dallin. Let me see. Oh boy, where's my Dallin? Where is he?
Where's your boy Dallin?
Where's my boy? I've got notes here somewhere. Gotta find it. Yeah, so we'll say that you have this whole list of people who work there. And you basically start with Dallin. You move down the list. Dr. Richard Dallin is head of Dorchester House Psychiatric Facility. The first thing that comes up is you find his address, 145 Adams Street. Oh, wait, no, that was the address for Bryce. Never mind. You find his address, blah, 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 blah Street in Boston. You find that he, I'm just jumping to these notes here. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Got his doctorate in the 70s, board certified in 1985. And immediately began a hospital to treat post-traumatic stress disorder called the Dorchester House. He has no presence on social media, doesn't have a Twitter account or not even a Facebook account, but that's not necessarily a red flag. It lists his schooling. He got his doctorate from a reputable Ivy League school. He has a sister. His parents are deceased. no crimes, nothing connecting him to 1995 in New York specifically. But you also know that he had some Delta Green connections. So if you want to look at those, we can have a bureaucracy roll here.
All right, let's do that. Any difficulty?
No.
Nope. No, not on my game today, apparently.
Yeah, nothing specific. The only thing that you can find with the failure is that he basically. Oh, you do have a hero point, by the way. Just so you know, not that this necessarily.
Yeah, I don't think this one calls for it. I think I'll
Yeah.
save that.
Okay. Dr. Dallin, the only thing you find is that his first work with Delta Green was 1979. So even before the Dorchester House existed. That's about
Okay.
it. And he was listed as a friendly, especially when agents kind of needed care. That is Dallin. Oh, I know. There's one other thing. You find his full name. His full name is Richard Forrest Dallin. His middle name is Foras.
You got left behind. I had to literally go retrieve my spider.
Get left behind.
You hear a voice in your ear talking about Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, that's my husband.
Mhm.
He's playing.
Let him play. Let him cook.
He's cute. He can be the other extra voices in my head. I've seen shit, so that
Yeah,
makes
why
sense.
not? Why not?
You know, I'm learning about the future of a game for some reason in 2015. I'm not sure why it's up with that. All right. I guess then, if anything, I don't know if we want to go through the entire list, but
You go through the rest. Oh, yeah, that's right. We're just doing
Yeah.
staff members here. Next up is Esther Samagina.
yeah, she's a special one.
Sure.
Something there.
No role necessary for the start of this one here. Esther Samagina is head nurse and sort of like sub administrator of the building. She appears from your records to be like, and from your experience to be Dallin's right hand person. You know, she is. Let's see. Where are you? Sorry, there's a lot of details of this adventure, and I have to go looking for that.
Yeah.
Graduated from Boston University School of Nursing in 1987, and her first year, she worked somewhere in Boston, but then her second year of nursing, 1989, she joined the Dorchester House facility. She's been there since then. Was promoted to head nurse in 1997. She's married. Her husband's name is Philip, and they have one son, Henry. Henry was born in 1999. You also come up with her address, which is 52 Crockett Street in Boston. She is 49 years old. She has social media accounts on Facebook and Instagram. And let's see, the last time any of these accounts, I mean, you go through her social media accounts and you find ones for her husband and son as well. Her husband's on Facebook, and her son, Henry, is on Twitter, Insta, and Snapchat. And the last time any of these accounts were active was the 24th of August this year, which was like 10 days ago-ish.
But like
The
all of
24th?
them, like across multiple people, we're
Correct.
all. That's fucking weird.
Okay. That's good to know.
That's all you get from her. You keep going. And I'm just going to give you some basic overviews here, again, focusing on weirdness. If there's
Yeah.
any weirdness.
Yeah, give me that weird
next-
shit.
Yeah. Next up, Michael Devon, who is the security guy that you met, an orderly, has a community college degree in, again, health administration. And you find this, you find out that he's the owner of a Dodge Dart. He has registered, which is a weird car to be driving. It's like an older car. And like that's it. Oh yeah, he has a Facebook account and is a part of a group that does the thing with. Do you remember the like? Oh, shoot, what is it called? Chat, you can help me out here too. But
Oh,
like,
it's not like improv everywhere or something like that, right?
no,
the
no,
Flash
it's not. This is not one big. Yeah, this is not one big performance art piece. The thing where geocaching.
Oh, okay.
He's a geocacher.
And he
that's-
doesn't have that weirdness where like he hasn't posted in a while either, right? Or they're on the same time.
Even his Facebook account is pretty like scattered. You know, it's like he posts like every few weeks, sometimes
Okay.
a little bit longer, but nothing like it all stopped all of a sudden. No.
Okay.
Next up is RN Ulrikia Vors, VOORS, who you've seen but nobody's really spoken to yet. She doesn't have any record. She is a registered nurse. She's been with the Dorchester House for several years. Not married. Nothing really out of the ordinary. Next up is Gail Houston. Gail is an orderly, not a nurse. I probably have mistaken that in the past. But owns a truck. She lives nearby, not too far away from the Dorchester House itself. She has a few different interests, certain TV shows, things like that. No crimes, nothing weird. Single.
Sounds like she wants to change that though.
Yeah, she's on Twitter. A lot of retweets, you know, some posts about like, well, why do they call it this and not that, and blah blah blah. You know, just like little bon mots, that sort of thing. And then there's a bunch of other staff people who are boring. Like you get down to like the folks who work in the cafeteria, and you know the people who do the cleaning and stuff like that. But that's pretty much all the orderlies and nurses that are of any interest.
Okay. I think that would have taken up the rest of the early morning up to the point where I can actually go drop off that blood sample now.
Yeah.
So she's gonna go ahead and take care of that.
Okay, that's something we don't need to do. Easy. Yes.
Yeah.
Lonnie, what's up?
Do
Lonnie.
I have Maple's number? Like,
That's for Maple to say.
yeah.
Yeah, Maple gave you all have a burner for her burner number.
Okay. Because I think after, like, when I'm at lunch and I get, my husband says the
Sam's in
line
the
about, like,
bathroom.
the conspiracy. Yeah. Sam's in the bathroom. He says the line about the conspiracy theory. He's already agreed to go take care of Sprinkles. I send you a text and just ask if you can look into a place called Keys, Norris, Ingalls, and Grant. It's a very brief message because she's just like kind of like letting it stir in her head for a minute of what her husband said. So it's not really like it's just like can you look this up really fast? Law office in California.
You get back an emoji that's just basically thumbs ups.
Perfect.
And when Maple's done with her, this one, I don't think she's gonna feel like she needs to do a particularly secure one, so she'll probably just do the search like on her BlackBerry
Okay.
when she's done dropping out the sample.
All right. You look up Keys, Norris, Ingalls, and Grant. You know, like you're like waiting for your contact at the medical examiner place, and so you're just like on your BlackBerry. You look it up. Keys, Norris, Ingalls, and Grant. And some of this was sort of looked up last time. Let's see. There we go. Keys, Norris, Ingalls, and Grant is a powerful Los Angeles law firm. It is, They are protective of their information. So just like we learned last time, their website is like front-facing facade stuff. You know, it's like here's here's the people who founded it, and here's what we can do for you. Contact us if you need representation. They mostly do defense work. They are big stuff. They don't do small claims stuff. They are mostly kept on retainer by powerful people, based out of Los Angeles. Roll me a check. Probably computers. Straight.
Any difficulty? Nope, straight. All right. Come on. Yeah, finally.
Woo! That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Just as you're about to wrap that up, you know, looking for anything that might be weird or unusual, you hit something.
Not a child,
Specifically.
right?
Yes, you're doing it while you're driving a car. No.
Oh, I knew I shouldn't be. I knew I shouldn't be searching and driving at the same time. Okay, it's bad enough that every time.
She
every
says
time
it's a
I
lesson
see
to all of us.
Yeah, it's bad enough that every time you see me as a player sipping this, it's actually a White Claw.
Yeah, you turn to the camera and say, "Wow, I've made a mistake this time, everyone." And you find an article from a newspaper. I am putting it into your journal. But it looks like it was kept as the possession of this law firm at one point. And I am going to read it out loud just for the sake of our friends at home. But if, as we put this into journals, if we can get it up on the screen too, we can all take a look. Here's what it says. Police announced son is main suspect in prominent Bel Air murders. And then it's stamped. Keys, Norris, Ingalls, Grant, law firm, Los Angeles. It has their phone number there. The 16-year-old stepson of murder victim Thomas J. Wist, Ed Myler Wist, is now the primary suspect in the shotgun murders which rocked the Bel Air neighborhood near the end of May. It's dated 9th of June, 2010. Thomas Wist, his wife Wendy A. Wist, and their son Sandra Wist were murdered by shotgun on May 28th inside their Bel Air mansion, leaving only Ed Myler Wist untouched. Police Captain Thomas Pastor's announcement this morning comes on the heels of a public outcry to locate a suspect. Testing of the suspect's hands for gunpowder residue proved, and then it cuts off.
Okay. Interesting. I probably want to find the rest of that article if I can later, but for right now, at least, I'm going to have sent that as an attachment to, Mayday. And in there is, I also got the text back being like, I don't know why this came up on your radar, but maybe a little caution in whatever's happening.
Just get back a yeah. And then a thanks with an exclamation point. Like
You get
2 separate
another-
messages.
You get another thumbs up, pair of thumbs up, and a emoji with the sunglasses.
Can I ask a very quick question about this? It's Ed Myler Wist.
Correct. It is not Miller. It's Miler.
Okay. And what was the other one before? Dallin's middle name is Forrest?
Foras.
Mhm.
What is the deal with people with weird as shit middle names? Like those are just I don't know.
Listen,
okay.
hey,
Everyone's middle name.
listen. All you need to know, okay, is that the King in Yellow and most Eldritch Abominations are all dyslexic. Okay, lay off.
Fair, but like I don't know. Look, folks, playing Delta Green makes you paranoid about fucking everything. Like everything is a clue.
I know
So
those are weird names. So
yeah, it's just odd. Like just slightly off middle names.
As LC is saying in chat, let the king cook. They are weird, and really within this adventure, and for whatever reasons that the King in Yellow or Dennis Detwiller have deemed necessary, people have weird names. I mean, Ulrikia Vors is a strange name. It's Gail Houston, but spelled without the O. Like, there's, maybe they're just trying to protect people with those real names in real life.
Yeah, I don't want to say weird, but just like quirky, just like odd spellings of things. Like when you first said forest, I thought you said like forest, like Forrest
Right,
Gump.
that would
And
make
it's,
sense.
Right,
Forrest,
it's all things that are like close to normal names that we hear all the time, but are
right,
just slightly off. It's very odd.
Mhm. It is odd. And I mean, I don't want to tell you how to do your jobs, but like, if you want to look up the origins of those names or look for connections, you're welcome to do that as well.
yeah, I'm putting that on my list for another time. But for right now, actually, I want to send a message to my boy Maltese.
Oh, that's me. Hi.
Hey, Maltese.
Hi.
You're gonna get a text message being like, hey, let me treat you to a coffee before we all meet up.
Like sitting in his room.
He's
Have
gonna
a-
have so much coffee today.
Like already like probably 2 cups in because he hasn't slept all night.
Jittering.
Jumping down on a big and toasted, just like, all right, sounds good. Where at?
She'll give you an address for somewhere fairly nearby to you.
All right, it's the same Dunkin' Donuts.
So she sends you this invitation, and just after she does that, Maltese, your phone buzzes. We'll come back to you in a minute, Maple.
I should flip it open and check it out.
It says, "Dear Tommy, comma, space, line break. It's your dad, period. Give me a call today sometime, period. Love you, comma, line break. Thomas Fornetti." Because that's how dads write text messages.
Like formal emails, but they can't translate it. Yeah. Yeah, he's got a few minutes. He'll shoot him a call. Just have to get in that.
Okay, you call him up. It rings for like I don't have my voice changer open.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I should have had it open. I knew that I forgot something today. It rings, and after a few minutes, there's an answer on the other end. It goes, "Oh, hey, just put my phone down." Yeah, hi.
Yeah, well, I'm free. Still pretty early on in the day. I figured, might as well give you a call. Oh, sorry, what was that? I think
You left town. What are you doing?
Oh no, I'm up here. At this like little charity kind of invitation thing.
Charity invitation. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, you like fundraising or what?
Yeah, basically. Nowadays, little demonstrations here and there. Work with the local ladder.
Sure. Okay. Maybe you can clear something up for me. Just a minute. Which is that this morning, on my desk was a call from Boston PD.
Boston PD.
Yeah. Something about did you get pulled over or something?
Oh well, yeah. It's the beginning of the month. They're trying to hit some quotas or something. They pulled me over for some stale yellow bullshit.
Oh, sure. All right. Yeah, I got you. That's fine.
Probably saw the Mets
There
bumper
was
sticker.
there was something in there about like the cop that pulled you over looked up some sort of, you reported a fire or something, and went to look into it, and there wasn't a fire. And I figured it was just like you bullshitting him, so I kind of had to sweep it under the rug, you know.
I was in the gear, and frankly,
Oh, okay.
I don't got the time of day for this guy who was clearly trying to, pull one on me. Like,
Yeah, hey, I trust you. All right, I believe you. Yeah, I figured you went down there just like swinging your Johnson around or something like that.
no. Absolutely
Okay.
not. I do that plenty enough at home. I don't got to do that abroad.
Sure. Oh shit. No, I gotta go. Okay, sorry,
Oh.
I gotta go. All right.
All right,
Keep your nose clean.
be
Okay, be
safe.
safe. I love you.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Love
I
you.
love you too. Love you
All
too.
right, you're my boy.
You're
all right.
my dad. I love you. Bye.
Thanks on the phone.
Please no harm ever come to this man. Please
Just
no
want
harm.
to go to Sunday Sauce so
Oh my
bad.
God, I want to
Loves
meet.
to go to Sunday
I wa-
Sauce.
I want to meet his dad. I want to meet the boys so badly.
Everyone wants to go to Sunday Sauce in Juicy City.
In Juicy City with the boys.
Maple. Other things you want to look up? Anything else on your list? On your
I
to-do
have my list, my to-do list. Let's see.
Your
I
phone
looked up-
voice is still on, Doc.
Yeah, I know. I'm on the phone now, Colin. Colin,
Right.
it's your mother. Hi.
Oh
Sure.
God,
I
not my mother.
have. Okay, so I have on my list is I could look into the patients, but I think I need to be back at my safe house for that. So while I'm out and about, there is one thing I can do,
What is that?
and that is I gotta call a man's mom. I gotta talk to his mama. Time to call Bryce's mama.
Colin, his mom. I believe I gave her a name last time, but let's say Linda.
Okay,
She sounds
Is
like
her
a
name?
Linda.
Linda Bryce. That works. First thing that I'm going to need from you is I'm going to need you to roll me a luck roll.
Okay, let's. Am I feeling lucky? Is the question.
Good question. Ooh, that is a failure.
No, I am so not lucky.
The phone rings and rings and rings and eventually goes to a message that says, "The party that you are attempting to reach is not available at this time. Please leave your message after the tone." Beep.
Hello, sorry, well, let me make sure what her last name was. Oh, it is Bryce. Okay. Hello, Mrs. Bryce. I'm calling, this is, Officer Stafford with the state police. I was, calling about an inquiry. Can you call me back at this number, and I'll give her the burner number. Thank you so much for your time. And then hang up.
All right. Let us move forward in time to team meeting. Let's say 1 p.m. Okie dokes.
Okay. Well, I'm meeting with Maltese right before it.
Oh, sure. That's right. Let's go to that.
So she'll be at the, it's not going to be a Dunkin' Donuts. It'll just be like a local little coffee shop one. She's sitting there and has like a croissant in front of her.
Roll me
and
an alertness
and a
check.
hot tea. Oh, honey, I can't roll alertness. That's hilarious.
I just want you to do it, though.
I can't. See? Can't.
Okay.
This
All right.
lady can't see shit.
Okay. Yes, it's a lovely little independent coffee shop that is not owned by Dunkin' Donuts.
No, I hate Starbucks. That's the one. It's owned by, it's like a shell company by Starbucks kind of thing.
You failed in your alertness check.
The Dunkin' Donuts. I walk into an actual Dunkin' Donuts. Thought this was a local owned little coffee shop.
It's a Dunkin' Donuts
And
that's
Dunkin'
disguised
Donuts.
to look like an indie coffee shop. Yes.
It's a Dunkin' Donuts, and they're selling the pumpkin spice shit.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
September.
What have I
Isn't it
done?
too early? Oh no.
It's creeping every year. It gets earlier.
Pretty sure it's
Two.
September 1st at this point.
Yeah, basically.
It's like their attempt to rebrand, like it's like Brew by Duncan or some shit.
Yeah. Eventually, a hunky fireman walks through the door.
Oh, who's he? Oh, it's me.
It's you. It's you, you goose.
I'll go sit
So
down
beautiful.
with Maple. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
You
Sleep
know,
all right?
as well as you can.
So, unfortunately, Dollface, I didn't call you here for a particularly pleasant conversation.
Oh, look, a speeding ticket's a speeding ticket, no matter how you cut it. I'm not really gonna feel bad about it.
Oh, you got a speeding ticket for that little, non-existent car chase? Should have told me earlier. I could fix that for you.
I didn't get a ticket. I talked my way out of it, and now
Of course you did.
PD.
Your smile is so wonderful. Of course you talked your way out of it.
What are we chatting about, huh?
Alright. Well, I, got into some contacts of mine with Delta Green. And unfortunately, listen, we're probably she would have picked kind of a quiet spot. That's why she picked this place.
Okay. Still, just you can say that out loud.
But yeah, I got in one of my contacts, and I found out something rather unpleasant. And the reason why I'm talking to you instead of the rest of the group first is that I trust you. I don't really know Mayday, though she seems fine actually, so she's probably all right. She's with ACL, or was anyways. And I don't know anything about Margin, and that one concerns me. And I know a bit about Magnolia, and the stuff I know about Magnolia, there's a reason why I'm telling you first. So, I'm sorry, enough preamble, enough circle jerking. What's going on here, though, is India Moon isn't actually an official operation.
What, we're doing some kind of side work or something?
I don't know. The thing is that when I called up back with, home base basically, they told me we're not actually on an official assignment, and if we were to have been on official assignment, we should have been talking to V-Cell. Which we haven't been. We've been talking to some guy, Executor, who is not, as far as I can tell, one of ours.
Right, so who is Exeter?
I don't know. I'm waiting to get a call back about that, about what's actually going on. So, we've been told to, continue, but with extreme caution. And, like I said, I wanted to tell you this first, because, honestly, like I said, I don't know what the others are going to do. Maltese or Magnolia is the one that worries me the most, because I'm worried that when he finds out, he's going to try to just kill us. Straight up.
Why would he
I
try?
think that's like a 60-40 chance he'll try to kill us.
Why would he try to kill us? We haven't done anything wrong. We're all getting screwed right
depends.
along with him.
Well, yeah, but it depends on some stuff, I suppose. Listen, like I said, when I say 60-40, I mean 60% he's less likely to kill us. But there's still a 40% chance, and that's a little high on my books.
All right, so what? We don't tell anybody?
No, we have to. I just mean basically along the lines of when you corner a scared cat, you expect it to scratch and bite you. So when we tell him, just don't be too close for him to snap your fucking neck. That's all.
You don't corner a scared cat. You offer treats to come to you. I mean, that's just basic cat retrieval 101.
How many cats from trees have you saved?
Well, at least 5. So what? That's 45 lives saved?
You're assuming they had all their 9 lives.
I mean, they didn't fall out of the tree, so...
Suppose they have one more than they would have had if you hadn't shown up. Regardless,
Yeah.
I'm expecting to get a call on this.
All right. Keep me in the loop, because... I mean, this has been weird, right from the get-go. This isn't some look into this thing and, something weird's happening. Great, here the obvious clue is this is all very, seems like no one knows what's going on, so Makes sense,
Yeah.
I guess.
Well,
Considering, but makes sense.
another part to this is that I kind of wanted to ask is, have you ever worked with Margin before?
Oh no! I mean, we didn't even know, she was a part of the mission. So she just rolled up at the airport and said, "Hey, I'm with you."
I was just wondering, since you've been working MCell for a little while now and such. All right, because I can't find nothing about her, and I don't doubt that she's not Delta Green. Like she probably is Delta Green. Like we can be shifty as hell, so I understand that part. But it's still weird that I can't find anything on her, and she keeps reacting to all this 95 bullshit.
Sorry, like, what do you mean you couldn't find anything on her? Like, do we actually have files on us or something? I thought the whole point was no one knew who anyone else was.
I mean, we have stuff on everybody, of course.
Oh, that's nice. That's great. It's just good for me and my sleep schedule. That's just fantastic.
Did you honestly not think that when I asked to put you into Delta Green, I didn't already have a file on you? I did my background check.
I assumed it was just looking into the holiday calendar.
Oh no, that was like 20% of what I did.
Only 20?
Show up in like 4 of them. Well, quite a bit.
Yeah, well, you get callbacks. Point being, you can't find anything on Margin, but she's really big on this case, so maybe she's just a legacy who knows how to cover her tracks, right?
Well, see, that's the thing about it, with you bringing up the idea that she's a legacy. If she's a legacy and tied with the 95 case, you know that went really wrong, right? Actually, wait, do you know anything about that case? Has anyone ever told you about it? Like, it's not one of the ones that, like, to be fair, we don't exactly tell all of the tales forever, but
Let's
some stuff.
let's assume if anyone was going to tell me about it, they didn't, because and let's keep it on a what do I need to know? Like, what are the cliff notes? Spark notes.
Okay.
What how do I cheat on this upcoming quiz?
Okay, to give you, like, the most general lowdown, is that they were, looking into an apartment building that was all weird and stuff. And in the end of it, 2 agents went missing.
All right. So we already got 3 agents missing, so I guess we're worse.
I mean, depends, agents going missing is not that really, like this situation we're in. This doesn't happen that often. This is really weird. And if Margin's a legacy, out of the 2 agents, there's only one that was, female.
All right, so what? You just ask her if she's that one.
I don't know. It's a weird situation.
And,
Point of order, didn't everyone go missing from the first?
Sorry, did everyone go missing and I got that wrong? I thought it was
Not
2 in
technically.
particular.
I mean, first of all, Maple is right in saying that not all of this is known. There's a lot of unknowns, but that's par for the course for Delta Green. 2 of them specifically went off record. At the end of the case, Martini people knew about her, but then she basically sent a message at the end saying, "I'm not doing this anymore." She disappeared, right? The other one, which was Turk's character, Michael, is still on the rolls, but went back into service after 9/11. And so nobody knows. I mean, he wasn't called for this because he's in the armed forces. So who knows? You don't know.
Not me.
But basically, Mythic and Micro were the ones that were kind of like, woof. No, they went into the wind.
Yeah. But I'll amend my statement and be along the lines of when she says they went missing is they went two of them went missing, but like in the weirdest way. Like, be like, yeah, usually, when agents leave, we kind of know they did. We're like, oh, okay, they're gone. We don't want to call on them again. Put a little check mark by their name, be like, all right, they're out of service. But those two, no one really knows what happened.
I'm gonna say that. Let me make sure I'm right on this here. Is that Maple? You're waiting to hear from Delta Green before you sort of bring some stuff up with the group at large.
Yeah, that's what. Sorry, I should have probably
No, that's okay.
expounded upon that. Yeah, she wants to hear back from them before she says something definitive to the others, because, like I said, she doesn't trust them as much.
Okay. Well, here's what happens then. Towards the end of this conversation, I mean, really, while Maltese is still sort of processing all of this, you do get a call on your burner, and when you look at it, the caller ID says restricted number.
Well, speak of the devil, and they appear.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and answer it.
Okay. You pick up the phone, and the voice on the other end says, Mike Tango, it gives it like a code, which basically
Mike Tango Bravo.
Which basically means, is this a secure line? This is a Delta Green call. And they say confirm.
Confirm.
The voice on the other end is male. It is not your contact that you spoke with yesterday. And they speak and they say, Maple. This is the group. This is the group. We're told that you're under the impression that you are working in Operation Codename India Moon. Is that right?
Affirmative.
And that you have been told that this mission does not exist, correct?
Affirmative.
And that your handler, purported handler, in this case, is Exeter.
Affirmative. All correct.
We need you to shift your focus. You and your team are now going to target Agent Exeter.
I know where she is. This way.
Real name, Dr. Elias Barbas. We are going to consider him compromised. We need you to keep reporting to him. Don't let him know that he is under suspicion. But you need to discover what's going on while using caution.
All right. Do you need us to...
Clear? Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So, keep up looking for the other three missing agents, then.
Yes. But specifically, we need you to figure out what's going on with Barbas. And when you are on the lookout, we're looking for members of V-Cell, codenames Venus, Vega. Barbas has been under investigation since June. And I'm going to share this with you, but if you can keep this part quiet from the rest of your team, that would be smart.
Give me a second, then. She hasn't had it on speaker, but she's gonna get up and be like, sorry, Maltese, need a moment. And head off. All right, go.
As we said, Agent Exeter, real name Dr. Elias Barbas, is already under investigation. And we sent a team in at the end of June to investigate Viso. We haven't heard from them in quite a while.
All right.
So, keep up the cover. Continue to cooperate with Barbas within the realms of, well, confidentiality and, be careful. And then report back to us what you find. Anything. Is that clear?
Do we have a operation name for this one?
Well, we'll continue calling it India Moon, I suppose.
Okay.
Although the operation that you're looking into is Operation Mercy.
All right,
That's
got
all I
it.
can tell you. All right, we'll be in touch.
Thanks for the heads up. I'll get in contact with my friend. This burner's gonna be out after today, so.
That's fine, but this has gone above her head. You can still try to reach out through her, but other means of communication are preferred.
Noted. All right, thank you for the heads up.
And I think that's where we're gonna probably take our break, just because I need to use the bathroom. And I think that's a good place to leave off. And when we get back, we'll get the group together and we'll put boots on the ground. We'll figure out what's going on here. We'll do some work. Everyone stay here. We'll be back in 10 minutes or so, about 1/4 past the hour, maybe a little bit longer. And we hope that you're back then. So, see you soon.
Sunday thoughts. Sunday
Welcome back to Juicy City.
Welcome to Sunday Sauce, everyone.
I love the fact that we're all doing this, but like poor Turk, it looks so tired and is just zoning out.
I'm okay. I promise.
Are
I'm
you?
here.
Are you? Everyone, roll me human on Turk. We love you, Turk. Okay, good. We love you. Hey, great job last night with Call of Cthulhu, Turk. That was super fun. And yeah. Anyway,
One of these
welcome
days,
back
not
to-
everyone's gonna die.
That's a mood. And speaking of which, welcome back to Impossible Landscapes, where we have new orders. We have new orders from Delta Green, apparently, who talked to Maple on the phone and told them that the new target is their handler, Agent Exeter, real name Dr. Elias Barbas. I would like an int ×5 roll from anyone who has seen the visitor log at length.
I think that's been. I know I looked at it, and you looked at it.
Margin did too. Yeah, go ahead. The two
Yeah.
of you then. Int ×5.
Oh boy, my best. Oh,
Smart boy.
Oh, fuck, smart boy.
Oh,
Holy
juicy.
shit.
Man, boy.
45
Smart
out
fine.
of 45.
There's a reason why I'm so taken with you, darling. You're an everything man.
And Maple, is that yours, that 20 there?
Yes.
Okay. Maple, what you know, and what Maltese might know eventually, is that you remember end of May visitors. And one of them was Dr. Elias Barbas. Around the 27th or 28th of May, he was one of the few visitors listed. Dots connecting. Let us move forward in time. It is the predetermined M-Cell meeting time. which we'll say 2 o'clock, right? That gives Mayday time to wipe off the mayonnaise. That gives Magnolia time to reflect on the choices he's made. I don't know, whatever else he needs to do.
Magnolia
He's
shows up
done.
to this meeting wearing, if anyone's ever been on a duck boat tour, they give you these obnoxious little kazoos that make you sound like duck quack.
God.
He forgot that, yeah, he was on a duck boat tour. He forgot that he had it on. So he's just wearing this little duck fucking kazoo when he shows
So,
up.
do I need to roll alertness for that, or can I just take it and be like, I know that I've
Wait,
seen that less
what's
than a few
your-
hours ago?
What's your alertness to begin with? Mayday.
That is a great question. It is 40.
Okay. Yeah, roll for me. But
Okay.
roll it plus 10.
Okay.
So
He's
obvious.
wearing
Give her
it.
a plus 20 for fuck's sake. It's so obvious.
I'm good.
Yes.
I'm good.
Yeah, you're
You are
good.
good. He's wearing a duck boat thing. Like, wait a minute.
I just give him like we'll all be like meeting and kind of like
Mhm.
you know like kind of shuffling around the rooms, figuring out
You're in the
where we're all
boys'
sitting and
room.
everything, and I'll just like have a moment where I just make eye contact with Magnolia from across the room and kind of just tilt my head and look down and back up at him.
And he looks down and just rips it off and throws it.
We're gonna talk about that later.
And then says, what?
Yeah.
Seen tourists wearing those, so
I'm incognito.
very good, very good disguise.
I like
I
to
would have
blend in.
thought you were a tourist this entire time. Yeah, just that one accessory.
Thank you. I'm very skilled.
Blended right in. It almost seemed like you shouldn't belong at this agent meeting because
Yeah,
tourists.
almost. Did you have a good day?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Maltese, does this seem weird to you at all?
I mean, yeah, what, are you two, like, fucking or something?
What? No.
Language.
I'm sorry, are you two engaging in an illicit affair?
I think you should
Guy
take
was
that
wearing a
back.
kazoo
Maltese.
around his throat. You would think I was having an affair with him?
I'm just
Where's that
asking, you're both talking real weird at each other, and I'm trying to, like, decipher it, but I don't think so good sometimes.
That's okay.
Fine.
You keep thinking like you think.
I find 2 dots, I draw a straight line.
I mean, I'm a little bit past romantic dalliances myself, so I revel when other people are having them, live vicariously through you all. It's hilarious.
I have no idea what's going on right now.
That's okay. It's more funny this way.
Either, actually.
Okay, let me clear it up for you. I attempted to follow you this morning, but I failed in that endeavor.
What, did you get on the wrong boat or something? I don't think I saw you.
Yes, that's exactly what happened, actually.
Was it a good tour? I haven't been on any of these duck boat tours myself.
Yeah, it was okay. The guy let me go up and steer at one point. It doesn't matter. That's a thing they do in the duck boats, by the way. They let you come up and steer if you answer a trivia question correctly. It was fine. I was just making sure you were safe is all. I hope I have not overstepped my bounds. Sorry,
No.
what?
She's kind of just like thinking about it because basically what's running through her head is kind of like, well, you would have seen my husband and kind of seen a whole new personal side of my life, but at the same time, like, shit's getting weird, so not offended by having a bodyguard try to protect me, but like can't really get that into words. So she kind of just is like, it's fine. Glad you enjoyed it. Hope you learned some things.
Speaking of protecting you, by the way, I am going to need that silencer back when you get a moment.
Right. And she'll, I think she's kind of just gotten in the habit of wearing like the same sets of clothes over and over again because she's living out of a suitcase. So she probably just has it in the blazer that she wore for the meeting today.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So she'll kind of just pat around and say, don't wear this one around your neck.
I'm not an amateur. Thank you very much. By the way, where are we meeting? Are we looking at Denny's? What?
I thought we
up
were
to you.
just in the hotel
Tell me.
room.
I'd love to hear where you're meeting, and then I'd love somebody to take charge of this meeting, and let's go.
I feel like we would have met at the motel because that's where you guys mostly were at. So we might be outside at the cars, in the corner of like the parking lot.
I would make a motion for not the motel room only because Margin is locked up in her room, and us meeting there, I don't know, feels weird. It's like she's like right through the wall, but we're not talking to her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, in a good
imagine
messenger, but
We can
There's-
handwave that somebody messaged her, and she's like, "I'm fine. Can't come to the meeting. I'll catch up
Yeah.
later."
Maple would have done that. Message her to be like, "Hey, we're meeting up," and then gone thing, be like, calamari hangover, the worst. You'd
There's,
think
you know
what?
an alcoholic would do that, but
Shit, that should be the new mission name: Calamari Hangover.
Calamari hangover.
calamari hangover. That's gonna be part of the merch. Calamari hangover.
We can meet at the Dorchester Heights Memorial Ground. It's a big open park there in South Boston.
All right, well there you go. We can meet there.
Okay, that's a good
All
idea.
right, I'm gonna take charge here, since I have the info actually. All right, so agents. I always love being able to say that. Actually, it's one of the cool things, one of the cool tropes. So I've got some bad news for all of you. So Operation India Moon is not an official operation, and our
What do you mean? What do you mean not official? Like we're working under the table?
No, not even that. I don't think we're even anywhere near the fucking table, it seems like. Okay, so to give you the lowdown from it, Exeter happens to be a Dr. Alaris Barbas. Barbas. So not an agent. And we need to now look into him.
Screwing the silencer onto his pistol. Okay.
I just
Why do you
wanna
have
make a
that out in
note-
the middle of a park? Put that away, jeez.
I just want to make a
Nobody's
note that Mayday would, if you did that, Mayday would be like, oh.
Okay, no. We
This whole
gotta,
time she didn't know what it was.
you didn't know what was a
Didn't we
silencer?
decide that? Didn't we decide that she might not have like been able to she might not have known it other than
It's like-
maybe from a TV show or something?
Right. Or like didn't know how to attach it. Yeah.
But you push
Yeah,
it.
I always-
That is-
I thought you always use a Coke bottle. A
Or it was
Coke
like
bottle or a
vacuum
pillow.
cleaner attachment, or yeah.
I thought there was a really kinky
Okay.
fleshlight. Really narrow though. Anyways, that aside.
Cancel Nick.
Oh man. Learning things. Anyways, putting drawing things aside, I got a maple
Come on,
right
Ace.
now. A maple
Maple.
right now, not Cyberella. All right. Okay. So what we've got to do now, actually haven't talked to our higher ups about it, is we've got to actually keep up the facade and keep working with this Exeter and such, and keep answering to him. Meanwhile, finding out what the fuck this man wants. So
Who
that's
is
now the
he?
mission.
You have a name. What else do you have?
I got nothing at the moment. Just Dr. Elias Barbas. I'm gonna look him up later when I get back to my safe house, so I can do it, safely, as the name implies. But yeah, we got to keep up the facade that we're working with this guy. As far as the 3 missing agents go, not a priority. If
Well,
we find
listen.
them, all the better.
If I'm understanding you correctly, there is a man who is not a Delta Green agent, correct? Mr. Barbas is not a Delta Green agent, yeah?
As far as I know, I haven't done the proper search on him, but as far as we know, he isn't.
I
Right.
think your call mentioned compromised.
Yeah, is that one that is one of the things I can actually say. So I mentioned that. Be
Let
like,
me
he's compromised.
clarify. He is an agent.
Okay, he was.
or was, or is and was, and has been compromised. Also, the agents that you were sent to look for, you didn't get any more information on them from Delta Green, but you also know that V-Cell was sent in to investigate Barbas, and they are off the map. They've lost contact with V-Cell. So
And that was
there
the part
are
I wasn't
agents missing, but primarily it's like
Sorry,
Barbas is
but
the target.
Barbas is the target, but they said secretively I was supposed to look into the missing agents, but I'm not sharing with them about that
Right.
one. Okay,
Got it.
I'm not mentioning that part. But yeah, being like, yeah, but the 3 agents that are missing from the facility are no longer a priority. I mean, if we find information about them, that might actually lead to what, Barbas is up to. So it's not something we shouldn't be looking into. I'm just saying that, they're not priority anymore.
I mean,
Go ahead.
Question: you want to look him up in your safe house? Why can't I just Google him right now? Just find out where he lives.
If I can get that information, I guess I'll do a search real quick.
Yeah, just a quick surface level search on Dr. Elias Barbas.
I'll throw in a Google search as well. I'll just tap it in on my phone.
All right, you tap.
If he's really a doctor, he must be
Maltese is on the case. No role necessary for this. You go to Google, type in Dr. Elias Barbas. First thing comes up is his LinkedIn. It's got his basic credentials. Has a history of him working with the Massachusetts State Police. It's got his personal email address. It's got his state police email address. It's got a picture of him. That's the guy you met at the restaurant. Doesn't have any social media accounts other than LinkedIn. And that's what you can get from Google.
That's how you
you
go
want
about
to
it, Demon.
try some other avenues, maybe you can get more. Yeah.
Just to clarify, how did Maltese's dad find out about the police officer again?
Maltese's dad, you don't know this. You don't know how he knows. But he told Maltese that word got back to him that one of his guys, one of his firefighters, with that same last name, was in Boston for some reason. And his dad told him that he had to hush it up and sweep it under the rug a little bit.
Okay. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I might as well try to do a little bit more of an in-depth search on Dr. Elias Barbas.
Are you going to do that?
This is a
No, I
this
really
is a
should do that
Colin
later.
suggestion. This is
Yeah,
a Colin
Colin.
suggestion, not a Magnolia, because I don't think
Yeah,
Mike
let me
would think of
let me
this,
speak
but,
with Colin.
for your edification. If he's an actual physician, then he's probably board certified, so he must have some kind of registration with
Yeah.
the state or something like that. So
If he's a
maybe that's
doctor,
place.
yeah, some
Yeah, I
He's
can
an actual
I'll at least look up that then. Let me look up
Okay.
that at least.
All right. This takes a little bit more. So let's see. If you're just looking up at his credentials and stuff along those lines, how about a bureaucracy roll?
Any difficulty?
No, I don't think so.
Success.
Nice.
Okay. Well done. Villain points. Roll it again.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow, failure.
Ah.
You villain.
You
There-
fail at
there are-
bureaucracy.
For reasons along the lines of, he works with the state police, apparently. It's hard to even figure out kind of what the extent of that is. You do find out a couple things, just credential wise. It looks like he has a doctorate, but it's not a medical doctorate.
He's a PhD.
Yeah, he's got a PhD in demons. No, he has a PhD. It looks like Oh no, he does. It was a forensic science, so it's kind of medical. He's got a doctorate in forensics, and worked as a forensic. This is all on his LinkedIn. Worked as a forensics examiner, working on crime scenes, and also for the past 8 years, he has worked with the state police as the director of forensic science.
Oh shit! And he was, for clarity, he was at one time a Delta Green operative.
You
That's not on his LinkedIn, but yes.
It's not his LinkedIn. Didn't say also I worked for Delta Green, but yes, Maple can confirm that he is has been in the past a Delta Green agent. Yes.
So he's gone rogue.
Yep.
I
Of
think
course,
that's
you
what
guys
he- I
don't
think
know. Yeah, he's gone rogue. You guys don't know about the fact that V-Cell was looking into him since summer. That was the
Right,
part I
right.
had to withhold.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think
Well,
that's actually what Ag would say there. And then so what we're dealing with here, it sounds like, is someone who has gone rogue, so to speak.
As far as I can tell, you're right. That seems to be the case. Now, we have this stat phone here. She brings out of her carpet bag the giant fucking
Here
brick of
it
a phone.
comes.
There's
Oh,
like,
boy.
Here comes this phone.
I think we might be at the point where we can actually contact him.
Mhm.
We have
As a
a bit
reminder.
of information.
As a reminder for folks at home, in case anyone's forgotten, this sat phone, it's like a 1990s phone. It is a brick, basically. It's a big old thing. You're just looking at it. This is your first time looking at it. Nobody's looked it over or anything like that.
No, second time actually, I think. Or
Oh.
no, was that one of the things
one
I did
week-
off?
one week
That
on
might
it.
have been. Sorry, it might have been one of the things I did off stream.
Maybe.
Was I was
Maybe.
talking about the fact that I wanted to run the serial number for it and see if there was anything weird that came up with the phone.
Yeah, we haven't done that yet.
We did not do
so-
that.
Okay,
Uh,
okay.
we
I
should
like
do
it.
that.
I like it. You look it over. Okay. It has 13 keys. It has 0 through 9. It has a symbol and some function keys. Some of them have letters of the alphabet on it. It is, like I said, big and old looking. It has a. Let me check here. I want to look at this really quick. I want to be right about this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah,
very nice.
Yeah. There
I
is
see.
there is no serial number on it, but there is a brand. It
Cereal.
is apparently made by a company called Seer Inc. SEERE Inc. And so you could use that information to look stuff up if you want.
I will use that.
There's also a logo on the phone. The logo is one of looks like a Pegasus or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, let me look into the Seer because I mean, eventually I want to look into the foundation that's
Yeah.
paying for the institution. And so like
Sure.
anytime I find a brand name thing, it's like, let's find out if something goes backward.
Yeah, of course.
Shit.
Makes perfect sense. So you look at
Conspiracy.
Seer Inc. You start same place that Maltese starts, which is Google. The first hit you get lists Seer as the name of a demon in a book called the Ars Goetia. The Ars Goetia, and this is a real book that exists in our world. It was part of the Lesser Key of Solomon. It was written in pre-Renaissance Europe. And it is basically a list of demons that purports to be written by Solomon or somebody using the pseudonym. Here's what it lists as Seer. Seer is a prince of hell with 26 legions of demons under his command. He could go to any place on earth in a matter of seconds to accomplish the will of his conjurer, bring abundance, help in finding hidden treasures, or in robbery, and is not a demon of evil, but of good nature, being mostly indifferent to evilness. He is depicted as a man riding a winged horse and is said to be beautiful. Past that, there is not much under Seer. So you look. What I want to ask you, how deep do you go into Google results looking for Seer Inc.?
Oh man, you wanna know how deep I go? How deep this lady goes?
How deep?
This lady goes deep enough to get a fucking sanity roll. That's how deep she goes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so
rock
much.
my fucking brain, okay, Doc? Go for it.
After about
Finger
40
bang the brain.
pages, after about 40 pages of search results, you get an entry that is in PDF form from a book. And that book is titled Mental Illness in the Workplace and Beyond. It's written by somebody named Devin Greenbrier, published by a group called Grolier International in 1986. And it's an instruction manual on dealing with mental illness in a corporate setting. And in this book, all of the examples in the worksheet section have to do with a company called Seer Inc. Here are a few examples from the workbook section. Mark R. is a salesman for Seer Inc.'s electronics line. Multiple reports from hotel managers indicate that he is carrying a porcelain doll with him everywhere he goes and speaks to it when no one else is present. His work does not seem to suffer. Do you A? And then it gives a bunch of multiple choice answers. Ophelia S. is the secretary for Seer Inc., who has become preoccupied with her home renovation. All discussions are about the renovation, and no discussion at work can pass without her referencing the subject. Her manager reports this behavior. Do you? Multiple choice options. Abigail W., a regional manager for Seer Inc., fails to show up to work for 2 weeks. When she finally arrives, she claims to have traveled to a distant land to marry a king. But her demeanor is disheveled, and many say she is not herself. Should you report this to mental health services? Yes or no? Thelma Griffin Myers is a hard worker in public relations for Seer Inc. One day, she begins to talk about how her entire life is actually a giant, ongoing play, being put on by some unseen supernatural entity that is like a god. Her work ethic continues to shine, even as she speaks about this conviction more and more. Do you? There is no mention of Seer Inc. as a real company. And I'm going to need a sanity check from Maple, first of all.
All right, let's see how my brain do. How my brain do? My brain broke.
Take 1 point of sanity loss. You lose 1 point, which is, in the grand scope of things, not too bad.
And now I've got my sanity at the sexiest number. 69, baby.
And that is a good one. That's one of the best ones. Do you share this information with other people and other agents? The findings that you find from this PDF workbook section?
I think the only part I'm going to bring up at the moment. By the way, Doc, later I'll need the other names that you gave examples of. But
Of
the
course,
one
yeah.
I'm going to mention is Abigail W.
Yeah. Okay. So you tell that to everyone that this name comes
Yeah.
up. There's a copy of the book in your journals.
for
I put it
clarity,
up
you
on your
mentioned-
screens.
You're telling us about Seer Inc., this training manual, and that it references an Abigail
Yeah.
W.
I'll be like, so looking at the stat phone, Fear Inc., real company, question mark? Probably not. That kind of thing. It's got ties to a demon, potentially, so that's like fun in a bun. So it's a lobster roll of fun in a bun. Anyways, sorry, I'm a little agitated reading this thing. It's actually kind of disturbing. There's a workbook section of this, and it mentions an Abigail W. Seems like that kind of set of letters keeps popping up, huh? Abigail Wrights and everything.
So you think it's all like connected?
I mean, usually is.
And with all due respect, Maltese, this is Delta Green. Everything tends to be connected.
Right.
Someone's mic is live.
Don't worry, I handled it.
Whoopee.
So
We're hearing voices, okay? It's going insane up in here.
It's not good.
I was hearing voices before about like something to do with like a Baldur's Gate.
Speaking
Yeah.
of voices, number one, like, does anyone else go looking for this thing, this link? Do you share the link?
I think if like there's already one real world connection, I'll probably want to ask if I can see it and see if there's any other things that maybe we can try to like tie to things we've seen so far.
Okay. So
Yeah.
silently, as the rest of you keep talking, Mayday starts looking through that same PDF document.
Mhm.
So again, speaking of voices, you have a phone.
Yes.
You gonna call up the number he gave you?
I mean, we should get into contact with this guy. I guess the quick question is, what are we going to tell him? Since we have to keep up the facade of looking into this case.
Look, we call him and we say, hey, we want to look into we want to like chat so we get a better idea of what exactly we're looking for. We found some information. We figured we might as well check it out. Do you think we could like meet somewhere, and
I got
try to go towards his place of residence?
All right, I got it. You're beautiful. I love you for that. Orderly Bryce. We don't know what the hell is up with this guy. The whole point of using this phone, right, is supposed to be contacting Delta Green, usually to get information, keep up to date. I mean, this is also maybe a good way of getting, some understanding about that guy to begin with also, and perfect excuse to meet up. I love you. You're so smart. So you're gonna do it. Hand you the phone. Hand you the phone.
As you're talking over the logic of this and sort of like talking about that, you're ready to make the call. How's Mayday doing?
She's reading through the manual and she'll get to one of the names and her face probably just drains of color. But she won't say anything.
I'm gonna try to clock that.
Can I clock that?
Humans.
I want to clock it. Yeah.
Let's say you weren't actively looking for it, so it's a hum int -10 for anybody who wants to make the roll. You've got some hero points too.
Oh God, it's such a God. I'm fucking up bad today.
I don't know how
Wicked.
many
Hey,
heroes we have. We got some.
Why a Mayday? Something wrong? No, I don't say that. I just clock it.
Yeah, Maple clocks it. You see her react to what she reads.
I'm going to. I do want to address that with her, but I don't want to address it in front of the others.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
I'm gonna wait when we start walking back to the cars, like lagging kind of thing, because I'm slow. She's polite, so.
That's a good point. Mayday, while we're doing that, then I do need a sand check from you.
Yep.
Yep.
I guess if I'm not really
Oof.
clocking anything, I'll just be like, hey, so I'll put it in the call, right?
Sorry, let me interject really
Oh
quick.
yeah, of course. Yeah.
You take 1 point of sanity loss.
Mm-hmm.
Mayday.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That workbook is rough.
She doesn't respond. She's just kind of rereading over it again and again.
Yeah, but like while you're pouring into that, I'll just give Exeter a real quick call. Say we got something to look into, and we need his help. Yeah, good. All right, cool. Gonna 616.
Star 616.
Yeah.
You punch in star 616, and there is a 3-tone beep as you turn the phone on. It goes beep beep beep. Fires up. Star 616, and the phone rings twice. And then, as it picks up, there is this sort of staticky sound over the line. And a voice on the other end says,
Go.
Exeter?
Go.
All right, yeah, no, we're looking at. Look, if you're not going to confirm this is Exeter, it's going to be a real one-sided conversation. You're going to keep saying go.
What do you need?
One, whatever Halloween store you got that thing from, but two, we think we got a lead on whoever's breaking people out of the house.
Elaborate.
Some orderly, Rice, been moving people. Old?
there's silence as you're on hold.
What?
Yeah.
What's the orderly's name?
Richard Bryce.
No.
No?
Bryce isn't the target.
Sorry, yeah, no, that's the thing. We're looking into Bryce, but Bryce is not.
Samagina is the target.
Who?
Samagina.
Sam. I say
Samagina
that.
is the target.
And the phone hangs up.
Ugh. Sorry, all right. So this thing has a real weird receiver here, or earpiece. Doesn't seem to be working right because his voice came in real dark there. Apparently, Bryce isn't the target. It's Samagina.
The nurse is the target of what?
You know what? It would have been real nice to have another conversation with him, but I don't think he's going to answer if I call again.
Can try.
Right. It didn't even try. You know what? Yeah, you're right. You're right. Star 616.
Beep beep beep. Rings twice.
Go.
Look, buddy, I don't know where you get off hanging up on people, but like, what do you mean Samagina is the target?
Investigation.
of the investigation at which we're looking for missing peoples.
Exeter is a red herring. Refocus. Focus on San Magino.
Sorry, is this not Exeter?
Hold.
Oh, you gotta figure out if you're not Exeter. Guy.
It's a long hold.
Well, he's gotta check his birth certificate.
Then you hear
probably,
this
doesn't
sound come across the line. It's just like it's faint, but you make out a different voice.
India. Moon.
it? Hello?
Gallon. Exeter. Simonion. Seer. India. Moon.
San Magino is the target. Exeter knows. Move forward.
The phone hangs up.
Okay. Well, that's a bit more helpful, I suppose.
Make me. How's your search?
Let's find out together. Thought I had it pulled up, but it was not. My search 62.
Ooh,
Hey.
make me a search roll as you start
Alright.
looking at this weird ass phone.
Cool. 11 for a critical.
Oh, baby.
Oh, that's juicy, Turk. Turk.
Juicy City,
That's
baby.
Juicy City.
Juicy.
You're looking this thing over, like, again, for anything else, but on the bottom of the phone, it's kind of like obscured by this distressed old, like, adhesive residue, like from masking tape or something like that. But underneath, there is like a port, a serial port. So it could be like connected through a cable. And with the right knowledge, you could maybe, I don't know, connect it to a computer, look into it or something like that.
Okay, first off, I gotta say, when we were initially taking the phone out and I was looking at that picture, I'm like, is that normal for stuff to be at the bottom? I'm too much of a cusper to know these things about brick
You are a
phones.
cusper.
And so I was like, what's on the bottom there? Is that manuscript? But definitely pull that back out and no fucking way. All right, so okay, a lot of things, but most importantly, I'll hand the phone over to Maple. You might want to find a computer to hook that up to at some point. I mean, I can go bring it to a library, and if you don't want to just like crush it, or I don't know, I can probably fit it into my budget to buy a cheap little work laptop.
Well, I would be happy to do that. Although, I'm sorry, I had a slight senior moment. What did I just miss?
All right, so yeah, okay, let me. So I called Exeter, except it's not Exeter apparently. Exeter's a red herring. Exeter's not the target. Exeter knows that San Magina's the target. Target of the investigation. You look into San Magina. Don't know what that means. Got a real funky voice mod going, some deep throat bullshit. A bunch of code phrases, Indian moon, the whole thing. It's real confusing, folks. I'm gonna be real with you. I think he gave us a crank phone.
Okay, hold on. Stop there. This all has gotten very confusing. I'm doing my best to keep up here. I'm gonna need one of y'all. I'm gonna need someone here to tell me what is my mission at this moment. Once I know my mission, I promise I will work toward it. At this
All
moment,
right.
as I sit here now, I do not know what my mission is. What is my mission?
Our mission is to look into Dr. Barbas and find out what he wants.
Apparently, he's a red
Okay.
herring. Just saying.
Well, I don't know if he's a red herring. The man did show up in the.
There we go.
Sorry, I feel like I forgot to say something earlier.
It wouldn't be.
Yeah.
You visited the facility at the end of May.
Yep,
That wouldn't happen to have been circa May 27th.
Oh, just about.
27th or 28th of May, around that point. Around the
It
same
wasn't
time we
that
have our Mosby
peculiar.
that we're looking into.
But now we have someone who apparently is not Exeter on the other end of a phone telling Maltese here that our target should be Samagina, that we should be looking into Samagina.
I mean, I don't think that's wrong. She is kind of on my to-do list. Well, not that to-do list. I'm past that point. She's too young for me. But my other to-do list, along the lines of, I did do a little bit of a search on the people who are, working there at the Dorchester. And in the case of Samagina, everything seems pretty much up to snuff until about, she's looking through her notes because she's old. Late August, a couple weeks ago, actually. A few weeks ago, all of the social media presences of herself, her husband, and her son have gone dark all of a sudden, when they were pretty regular updaters.
Right around the time that the 3 souls went missing.
Just before, yeah.
I think that's around the time it hits him about Samagina. It's this hearing Samagina should be the target and hearing strange things about her. I think that's the dawning realization. And I think it wouldn't require a human, I don't think, a particularly good human, to be able to tell that something just struck Magnolia right between the eyes.
What you thinking, big man?
It just occurred to me that she knew something about me she couldn't have possibly known when I spoke to her last. She just knew.
You gonna expand on that, or that's just enough information?
I see no reason to go further than that.
I mean,
But she doesn't matter.
depends. I mean, it could matter. She and I had a moment there back when you and Mayday went to go get me some water. He was real invasive like. Kind of asking nothing real specific, but like pinpoint enough to be weird. Along the lines of it's like a little too coincidental that she knew to like ask me these questions.
She asked me something too, but she also stated something about me. Something about my past that there's no way she could have known.
Well, I mean, I guess it looks like we might be having to look into her after all. If anything, to try to get Barbas to come out of ground. I'll do a proper search of him, of course, when I can do more than just, Google his LinkedIn. Which sounds real dirty, Googling a LinkedIn.
What are our instructions with respect to Barbas? Is it to investigate, and once we know, to remove him?
They didn't give me any sort of end game with him, aside from look into him, find out what he's up to, and why he needed us, basically, on this. As far as... Oh, sorry, go for it.
You would know that, yep, you've been tasked with playing along, tracking him, all that stuff. You would also know there's an overarching mandate from Delta Green, which is that if it seems like he's a threat, if it seems like he is dangerous or compromised or whatever, you are within your responsibilities to eliminate him. Yeah.
That's good. That's actually where I was about to go with this. So perfect.
Standing orders.
So we're supposed to investigate and find out. But as anything, right? When compromised, I think there's a reason why they didn't tell me not to get rid of you, or rather ask you to leave this investigation. I can't get rid of you. You're huge. You snap me like a fucking pencil.
All right. 97 it is.
I feel like I should be concerned about that, but also it's well above my pay fucking grade, so never mind.
So,
No,
sorry. Go ahead.
that's fine. I was just saying okay, I'll just. Well, then I suppose the next step is we should set up another meeting with Exeter.
That's
Well,
my question.
Just tried to, but we don't exactly have a way to contact them. I guess you could contact them on LinkedIn.
Technically, you could. I got his email and everything. Let me... Listen, do we got anything pressing we were going to do, like, right, today?
I wanted to look into the actual missing agents. We got their records. I was just going to pour over that in the room. If we want to, like, work out logistics details back in the hotel room.
Listen, what I'm going to do is she'll reach into the carpet bag and pull out the files. She's like, here's the files on them. Here is... I've already taken a copy of the patient list, but here's the patient list.
Okay.
She'll dig it through and she'll pull out another BlackBerry. She'll be like, all right, 1 second. Look at the number of this one. She'll go, all right, this one's still good. Here you go. Passes you a BlackBerry. Okay.
So many blackberries.
I'm going to leave you guys to do the research on these folks. I'm going to go look into our Dr. Barbas and see if I can find anything concrete about him. Because I don't want another snafu if we just bother going to his house and finding out his house doesn't fucking exist. Like Orderly Bryce. It's annoying and it takes too much time. So I'm going to go back to my computer and do a bit of actual, look at that. Not to mention look into some of these names from this workbook.
Do you want to take the phone?
Takes
The staff phone?
Try that again.
Yeah, no, that the phone hooks into the computer. Hooks into a computer if you want to handle
Oh,
that.
yeah. Just toss it in. Toss it in the bag.
I think I handed it off to somebody here.
Just take it. Take it.
Sticks
All right.
sticks the phone back in your mouth, Maltese.
Yeah.
All right, I'll see what I can do about that. And then reconvene in the evening, get some food, figure out if we've found out anything more useful.
I think I'd like to talk to Sam and Gina.
Not by yourself, I hope.
Not afraid of a nurse.
Magnolia, I'm 1 second. Take the phone out of your mouth.
Yeah, you should be careful. I mean, this shit's weird, right? What if Sam Magina's mask lady?
Like what, lady?
Remember Morris?
Oh, that. Yeah.
Rest in peace, Maury.
And he looks at Mayday and says, "She knows how to use a gun."
All right,
You
well
wanna
that
go?
makes me feel a little bit better.
All right, let's go with, I don't know, 1800. Meet back up. I give an address. Meet up here. We talk things out. Be very cautious about Sam and Gina. We just found out that apparently demons are involved in this. Whatever the fuck that means. Listen, the last thing I had to deal with was something called a Hound of Dindalos or something. Those are bad enough. So
I didn't catch it. Did it? Does Mayday want to come along with me or no? I didn't.
She'll
Oh.
kind of she'll kind of look up when you motion to oh yeah, she knows how to work a gun. She'll
Shoot
kind
a
of
gun.
look up at you wide-eyed and just be and just kind of nod and not say anything else, but she's in.
all right. Well, it
Good.
sounds like we got our marching orders, so we should get going. Now, Mayday, be a dear. My knees are a little bit bothersome. If you wouldn't mind letting me steady on you while we walk back to the cars.
Sure, yeah. She'll kind of put her arm out so you can support it however you need.
Such a dear. And I'll let the guys go ahead of us, which I assume you do. Safe to
Yes,
Yeah,
and then I'm still meeting up with Magnolia afterwards. Is that what's happening then?
You're gonna go off with him.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
But I'm walking you to your car first. Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna go off with him for Sam and Gina. So Agent Mayday couldn't help but notice that when you're reading the work booklet, something shook you.
You're talking about.
Come on, dear.
There's a lot of things that we're learning really fast, and it's a lot to take in sometimes. That's all.
But as far as I can figure, the only thing that would shake somebody, particularly from that, is the names in the booklet. And now listen, I'm going to be looking up those names as soon as I get back to my home, right? So if there's a connection to you, chances are I'm going to figure it out. And wouldn't it be better if I help you right away instead of, having to pry it out of you later?
She looks at you with these wild eyes. And she kind of contemplates it for a second. Is it possible that I could be in one of those books?
I mean, seeing as the fact that Seer, seeing the fact that Seer, it's kind of implied of a demon of knowledge, it looks like, I'd say, yeah. Are you in that book?
You'll notice that she's helping you kind of walk steady, but it almost seems like both of you are leaning on each other. I guess my name really isn't that common. I can't imagine there's another person with the same hyphenations and everything. Apparently I'm the human resources person for this company somehow, or what they think that I am. I don't know.
And strangely, it comes back to you, Maple, that all of the names in that worksheet had a first name and an initial, Abigail W., etc., except for that one, the Thelma Griffin Myers, her full name listed.
And, sorry, what scenario was that one?
It was the last one, about the human resources person who was talking about how their entire life is an ongoing play being put on by a supernatural entity, but her work ethic continues to shine even as she speaks about it more and more.
Okay. Well, I mean, the chances of that being a coincidence, of course, is not likely. That is a very unique name, dear. Lovely, by the way.
Yeah.
I will do my best to look into this and see if I can find anything as to why you'd be in it. But it seems like to me it's some sort of message meant for you.
What is it trying to tell me? I'm some kind of puppet?
Oh, no. What it probably is trying to do is scare you, which it seems to be working, so...
Not every day you see your name in a training manual for a book that you have never heard of the company that made it.
Listen, the thing is...
was written before you were born.
And was written... When was it written?
86.
86, yeah.
Wait, how old am I? Wait. Gotta do quick maths. 1 second.
Maybe, sometime around then.
I'm 34.
Well, maybe it was around the time you were alive.
Maybe
Don't worry, it's normal.
Okay.
Listen, I've seen some weird stuff over all the years that I've been in Delta Green since, like I said, the end of the 70s, all right? So it's been a while. And I've seen a lot of weird stuff, and I have heard more weird stuff than I've even seen. And this is weird. But all I can say is that the most important thing you can do is lean on your fellow agent.
Physically
get
and
by.
metaphorically.
Hey, look at me. I'm living my advice right now, right? I won't tell the guys, of course,
Thank you.
because I know I clocked it, but your secrecy is yours. But I'm gonna help you as much as I can help you. All right? So
Yeah, it's that's not the only thing though. The
Well-
company I had you look up earlier that was linked to Ed Wist somehow. My brother got fired, and within a day he was already offered a job at that company. And I know it's going to sound conspiratorial, but if you've never applied for a job before and it worked out that perfectly, does that mean they know him too?
my guessing is. See, this is the problem with this kind of thing. It's conspiracy stuff, right? You don't know who exactly is at the top. Is it a singular person, entity, whatever, or is it a bunch of things? A bunch of people? I'd say that given the case of how many coincidences are happening at the moment, something might be singling you out. The question, of course, is why? Which is why we should continue looking into Barbas, is to figure out. Because one thing I've been thinking about with the fact that we've all been put on this case that doesn't exist right until right now is along the lines of why us? Why specifically us from MCell? There's been a bunch of MCells too, but they pick this select group. All right, we got Margin, who may have been part of the 95 group, which ties into this whole thing. And then the question is like, why bring me into this? I'm fucking old as hell, right? What do I got to connect with this?
I'm
So
technically
why
not
you?
even M-Cell.
Well, that's the thing. You're A-Cell. Why did an A-Cell end up in all this? I mean, could be coincidental, but it feels a little destiny-ish.
It seems forced. It seems wrong.
She'll pat your arm. Sorry, when you get into conspiracy stuff, it always gets a little wild and kind of crazy and stressful. Listen, the only thing we can do right now is focus on the stuff that we have control over, okay? And the thing we have control over right now is we have some leads. And we're going to look at those leads. And then you're going to go, for one thing, you're going to go with the most badass person of us. And if you're in danger, the man's going to just snap something's neck, so...
He
So,
already
like,
tried to protect me once today, so
is that what that whole thing with the duck whistle was?
yeah.
I suppose that's sweet in a really, really horrifying way in its own regard.
You know, it's great until they end up on the wrong tour because they leave from so many locations in Boston.
Hey, at least he had a good time. You know what? Actually, to be fair, think about that. That man, the big hunk of a man, sitting on a boat, looking like a fucking tourist.
To the boat too.
And you know that everyone else around him is looking at him like, what the fuck is this guy here? That is clearly a felon. And like, freaking out.
I think that that's a good point for that conversation to wind down. And it's almost a good point for us to stop because it's kind of like where we began with talk about Magnolia visiting violence upon people. I want to know, what do you guys do from here? Where does everyone go? Summarize it for me, because there's a lot of talking. Just want to know.
Maple is going to go back to her safe house because clearly she's got a bunch of research to do,
Mhm.
and she will be doing some
What's
research.
on the top of her list? What is she going to hit first?
I think the top of her list is definitely Dr. Barbas. We need to look up him and get as much information as I possibly can about him, so I can narrow down where he might be. You know. So that's the very top, and then after that is our dear sweet Mayday. I'm concerned about our Mayday.
Okay. What about Mayday and Magnolia? Where do you go from here to find Samachina?
Magnolia goes to the bathroom because nobody ever goes to the bathroom in these things, you know.
Okay, great. Yeah.
That's step one,
terrific.
and then
By yourself? By yourself or
Could I-
with Maltese?
Yeah.
Could I
Maltese has
quickly intertwine
Yes,
here because I
Please.
imagine since I have the truck, I ride in the back while the two of you drive me back to the motel, so I can then take the files off of Mayday's lap.
Mhm.
Thank you both very much for the ride, and
You can
know,
use the bathroom at the hotel.
yeah, exactly, and then just I'll be there, and the two of you can then go wherever you need to.
What are you doing? What's Maltese doing? What are you doing with the files?
I'm going to be doing a full read through, and also maybe Uber eating some lunch or something.
Okay, great.
Not
So I
DoorDash?
think
Or was it Grubhub?
I might grab of it. I'll see what's
I
cheaper.
want to.
yeah. Go ahead.
I just think we should meet at a Denny's just once. Just making it later on.
Hey.
It's down the road, but
Next episode, man. Let's meet at Denny's.
okay,
So you
Denny's.
make an agreement
Yeah.
to meet at the Denny's later. It's currently about 4 p.m. And so you could meet there in a few hours if you wanted, something like that.
Yeah.
And stay.
Okay.
Yeah. And I do think that when there's a moment when Mayday and Magnolia are alone in the car, she will kind of like more genuinely thank him for kind of stalking her, but kind of protecting her kind of thing.
Okay.
Just now that she's more shaken up and realizing that she has somebody that would
Mhm.
do that. So
Let's do this. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to give you time to do this really quick.
Okay. Okay.
But you're going to have this conversation in Maltese's truck as you are on your way to the Dorchester house.
Yeah.
I imagine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, what does that conversation look like?
Well, yeah. Well, you can go ahead and do if you want to do it in character what you were doing.
yeah, I think basically it would just be kind of one of those things where she's kind of like not really making eye contact and like playing around, kind of like fiddling with like the ring on her finger, and doesn't actually look up at you, but just says, I thank you for trying to protect me at a duck tour, but for trying to protect me. I made
really
the
don't have
mistake
a
of
thank you for that.
letting somebody close to me come with me on this mission, and apparently there's already one person that I love already tied into it potentially. So I probably didn't even realize how much protection I needed, as much as I hate to admit it. So
I'm just gonna try a roll really quick. An alertness. I want to to justify what I want to do here. I'm curious. She always wears that ring around her necklace, but she's moved it to her finger.
Yeah.
So I just want to. And I got a
Critical
crit.
success. I would never make you re-roll that, and I won't now.
So as you say, yeah, you brought someone with you. He looks down at your left hand as he's driving. So how long you been married?
$4 years. We haven't had a chance to go to Boston. So it seemed like a good time to make a trip. We haven't gone on one in a little while. He works a lot.
I don't mean to question your judgment, but this seemed like a good time. A Delta Green mission seemed like a good time.
I spent a lot of time ignoring him once I started delving into Delta Green stuff. Kind of hurt us a little bit. Didn't want to hurt him anymore by just disappearing for however long we're going to be here in Boston. So figured we can at least make a few days of it. And he's getting on a plane tomorrow.
That's probably all for the best.
Yeah.
Listen, can I offer you some free advice?
Sure. Yeah.
Something I learned in this line of work and in my previous line of work is that you can have the mission or you can have your personal life. But at some point you have to choose. You can't have both.
That's not something they tell you when you get recruited for this place.
No, they don't, do they? But that's why they tend to pick people who have nothing to lose.
Well, then that's just fucking ironic, isn't it?
I'm not sure. I've never been quite certain of the definition of irony. But I suppose it could be.
It's ironic that you say that.
Now I'm extremely confused. Look, I hope no harm befalls your husband.
Thank you. It's weird because he's the one that motivates me to do the things that I do. But at the same time, I don't want to hurt him.
I have to ask you something very important and choose your answer carefully. Does he know?
If he asks, I am at a history conference this week. I'm learning a lot and meeting a lot of people in the field. I feel like I'm really making it in the industry.
That's good. I'm glad he doesn't know.
Yeah.
See to it you keep it that way, okay?
I'm working on it.
There's a not so subtle threat implied there.
And as that threat is made, we'll say that on your way back to the Dorchester, you do hit quite a bit of traffic. But you make it there before 5. You make it there around 4:45. And as you are pulling down the street, you're not quite to the gatehouse when you see the gate open and a car pull out with Nurse Samagina behind the wheel and exit onto the road. And for the second time this season, we're going to end.
Car chase take 2!
No, it didn't go well last time.
Oh man, I really hope that you guys have got good drive skills.
Tell you what, because this is kind of recycling it, but I'll tell you what, we're going to roll over our hero points because you hardly used any this week. So next week, if we start with you tailing her and you want to follow her, You can use your hero points from this week to reroll stuff that doesn't go your way.
I was about to say the 180 degree difference from the last car chase was the last car chase started with
Car dying.
Mayday being like, follow that car, and Maltese being like, what the fuck do you mean? What
Yeah,
are you talking
poor
about?
Maltese had no idea what was going on.
And then the
This
car
time,
died.
When the
That's
car
where
pulled
we'll end
out.
today's session.
Well, this
And
this time
lots
around
of-
when the car pulled out, when Mayday doesn't even get the sentence "follow that car out" before Magnolia's already fucking peeled the thing around and is chasing, like
Yeah, exactly.
ready to go immediately.
Like a dog with a fucking bone.
Yep.
Oh boy, it's gonna be fun. Strange stuff coming to light, and it just gets curiouser. It gets weirder, right? And you just kind of have to press through it and try and figure out what's at the center of all this and where's this coming from. I think my favorite question that was asked this week was, why us? Like, it does seem, I think the word that Mayday used was forced. I would say it's orchestrated in a way, right? Like, it feels that way, but is that valid? We don't know yet.
Is this
Not a
all?
future week.
Is this all not but a play?
Yeah.
Oh no,
That's a
we're
great
in.
question.
We're not even reading the Yellow King. We're just in it at this point.
Well, maybe, but we won't find that out until the future, and that happens after right now. That's the future.
Wow.
I'm
So
tired.
deep.
Hey, don't forget, everyone, the future. Future happens after right now. I want to thank everyone for being here and for hanging with us. Next week, we'll get with Samagina. We'll look into this guy, Dr. Elias Barbas. We'll look through some other files. We'll bring back our friend Liv and Agent Margin, and more stuff will come to a head. And then maybe someone will shoot somebody. Who knows?
Probably.
Liv, you got
Maybe.
some splaining to do.
Liv has some splaining to do, and I think that we're heading right to that sort of pinnacle, and I think that's terrific. And from there, it's going to feel like that's like the halfway point of the season, and we'll resolve it. I want to thank my cast for being freaking amazing and being super fun. And so we're going to go around and check in with them. And as always, I'm going to give a little bit of a highlight for me from what happened today. And there's so many from today's session. I had a lot of fun. So we'll start with Colin. Colin, it was a very Magnolia episode, and I loved it because we started with that cool flashback, and we learned more about Magnolia and what a complex monster he is, you know? And like, what do we like Magnolia?
I don't know if I do sometimes.
I don't know.
I play the guy.
I think there are two. I got two. One is the depraved smile when he looked at Duke, and there was that, because otherwise it would be like, oh, it's so sad he had to do that, and then there was a smile, which really set me off. And then there was at the end when Magnolia showed us who he really was, when he says, "What is my mission? Somebody tell me what to do." Right? Because that's what he does, a soldier, man.
Yeah. Oh, all right, hold on. I gotta put him away. Hold on.
Please do.
Good night, everybody.
Sorry for the cussing.
So this fucking guy.
Oh, Colin.
Hey, what's up? What's going on?
Where did Magnolia go? He was right here.
He's back in that cell now. Of course, he never really left when you think about it.
I don't think about it.
Yeah, he like that actually it's kind of fun because it makes Magnolia weirdly easy to play in a way, because he is a goddamn monster, but also like he is like, he wants someone to tell him what to do. He's a fucking soul. Give me my mission and I will do everything in my power to fulfill it. Just tell me what it is.
Mhm.
And that's why I think that's why he's struggling at this moment, because now the whole mission is thrown in the air.
And I selfishly really like that also as as the real life version of the string puller as the handler, because with all of these weird things, you could spend all day long doing theories, right? Okay, well, what if this? What if this person is this way? What if this means this and this means this? But it's always great to have someone who's like, what do we do?
Well, yeah. And I'll go do it. Whatever it is, I'll go do it.
Mhm.
And oh my God,
I think
can we
do a
connect
really good
everything?
balance of that with this crew? Yep. And Colin, I love you. You're amazing. That's all I have to say about that.
Oh my God, I just saw there's just so much. I now know, like, this is going to be really hard. I now know, like, so many things that Magnolia doesn't know
It's
because
tough,
I did
right?
a lot of Googling. By the way, with this kit, if you ever, friends at home, if you're playing Impossible Landscapes with your friends at home, it behooves you to, like, as things come up, just Google them. Just like as names appear, just Google
the
them.
word, Google the book.
You'll find stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's a demon is what we learned today, but I mean that I learned today, but that Magnolia doesn't know. But just so many of the names that came up are demon names. Just throwing that out there.
But maybe they
So,
were just
yeah.
parents who are like, he looks like a Satan. Yeah.
All I'm saying is, like, isn't
Look at
Lucifer
my
a
little-
mom name?
Look at my little.
Little Beelzebub.
Look at my adorable little Pazuzu. Who's my little Pazuzu?
Who's a good Furfur? I want Furfur to come up.
Aw. Who's
So I counted at least
Who's a good Lord of Flies? You are
I
Beelzebub.
counted at least 3 names that appear on Demon Web 101, which again, we cannot emphasize this enough every time we do Delta Green. That is a very real website which you can visit. DemonWeb101.com.
DemonWeb101.com.
It is there. Multiple of the names that came up today can be found on Demon Web 101, listed as the names of various dukes and one president of hell. A phrase I found very funny.
They all have weird offices on that. Yeah, it's so strange. You know
One
who's going
president,
to, you know who's this really is going to mess with the most is poor Liv,
Yeah.
who wasn't here for Demon Reveal Thursday.
Yeah, there's so many demons.
So many
And
demons
one of
left.
them's the president. I mean,
One of them's-
Liv, how is she going to contain herself?
But as we all know, there's plenty of presidents who are demons.
True.
So, Colin, what do you got going on? Where can we find you, etc.? How you feeling? You okay? Let's unpack this later.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't do anything. You can find me here. You can find me on Twitter and shit, or whatever the fuck they call it now. It's Colin Omicron. You can look me up. I'd be happy to have you following me. You don't expect me to like post anything, but you can follow me. That'd be cool. Go ahead.
Yeah, it would be cool. Colin, is it next week you'll be with us, and then 2 weeks you'll be gone?
Yeah, the 12th I will be traveling, so I will not be here, but I'm here next week. I'll be off the week after that. So give me a cool exit next week, Justin.
I will.
Love you.
And then you died.
And then he died.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I love you. Cyberella.
Hi.
Hey, hon, how are you?
Good.
Maple I think Maple stepped into this leadership role tonight. And that was super, super great. She had lots of terrific moments, but just like she's making connections now and she's making decisions. And I love that for her. That's my highlight for you tonight. What's going on with you? And what is your favorite drawing from tonight that you did?
My
We'll
favorite
check on our
drawing
Discord
is.
later.
Oh man, my favorite drawing is probably one of the ones that's going to be coming later because I'm really behind on them. I have. Oh, by the way, guys, for those who don't know how I
Kansas City.
operate, yeah, so far this. For those who don't know, this is how I operate. So it's mirrored, but I make a list of all the things I want to draw, and so I'm only part of the way through this. So it's going to be a little bit. But as far as where you can find me, on my what may be Twitter ? And anyways, Twitter, Blue Sky, I'm Cyberella Draws. On Tumblr, I'm Soot Child. And then, of course, in the Discord, I'm going to post all these drawings when I finally get to them. So that's me. Otherwise, I'm only here.
Awesome. And we're glad to have you. Let us go up to Mayday, Lonnie. I don't have favorites because all of my cast members are sweet, precious, golden children. Mayday might have been my favorite character this week. And part of that was because you did everything with such restraint. And that is the hardest thing for me to do in a role-playing game, is that you were like holding back. You looked at the thing, your face drains the color, but you're not like, oh my gosh, explicit exposition. You know what I mean? It was very tastefully done, but I also enjoyed that she learned about how to put a silencer on a gun. Like that was great. It was a great moment. But overall, just
Righty
and the
tighty,
duck boat
lefty
date.
loosey.
The duck boat date was terrific, and the mayonnaise. So thank you, Lonnie.
Thank you for blessing me with the way that you fit in the mayonnaise. That was I was honored. Yeah, no, I think it's gonna come down to Mayday is gonna have that moment where she figures out who's responsible or finds something to like be angry at, and eventually will lose her restraint. But right now she is kind of in that, I fucked up big time, because now two people, me and somebody else, Adam, are being pulled into this.
You are beginning to see how it spreads.
Yep. And it is not the same type of mission that she is used to. This one seems bigger. So yeah, this week, the second that you said, like, it took me a second to realize that you said my character's real name when you were reading off the thing. And then as soon as I did, I was just like, did that just happen? And I almost wanted to see the printout of like, yes, your name is right here.
I'll copy that for you.
Thank you. Yes, because actually, I want to see all the descriptions eventually
I'll copy
too.
the text, I'll put it in
Something
Discord,
else,
yeah.
Something else caught my interest too. But then I heard my name and I was like, But yeah, no, this week was really fun. I feel like you definitely sat there and you were like, well, I gave her a really great duck tour date.
Mm-hmm.
So now I got to threaten her entire family.
I like that, but I also liked, personally, from the duck tour date, my favorite part of what I did, and I know that's like, I don't know if that's selfish, I just like my favorite thing that happened with me was that her husband is, I forget his name.
Sam.
What was it?
Sam.
What was that I got to do that thing where you were like, I'm expecting him to be sad about this, and he was fine. And what does that mean? You know, like, the anxiety of someone being okay with something that should disappoint them is excruciating.
He's a little too willing to go back right now. More layers.
Lonnie, do you have anything else going on right now? You want to plug?
Right now, this is what I got, and I'm really happy with it. I'm taking a little break from doing like little one shots and everything. I'm really excited to be in a longer running campaign, so I'm kind of just letting it all soak in. So
awesome. What about Magic Kirby? Does Kirby have anything coming up?
Magic Kirby is neither here nor there, so I cannot speak for him. One minute he'll be here, and then all of a sudden, I can't keep track of him. But always make sure you look out for him, because it seems like he's always kind of lurking there.
Someone look for Kirby on Demon Web. Thank you, Lonnie. Turk.
Thank you.
Oh, hi, me.
Turk, my love. Maltese had the Juicy City night. Had this is another, damn it, what did I write down? I have no idea. Oh, I loved learning about Maltese's relationship with cats and his cat math, where he tries to think of how many of the cat lives he's saved. It was very good.
I know his intelligence is average, but I still just like, dumb boy. Sweet dumb boy.
Sweet dumb boy with a heart of gold and a mustache of silver. What's up, Turk? How you doing?
Well,
Sleepy?
No. I am so excited. No.
Okay.
Goodness.
Oh, good. Okay.
Never. I've hit the pinnacle of my evening prowess. I'm alive most of the night. But no, this game has as usual been an absolute joy. And I'm sorry if my face didn't always communicate that, but I just love showing up here and being with these awesome people and how talented and incredible they are, and just it's every time we sit here together, I find myself smiling at something I didn't expect to, and having all these wonderful moments and new memories. Like every session creates more to appreciate, and so if you want to see me try to recreate that in other streams, you can of course follow me on Turk Extension on most social media platforms, including the rotting carcass of what was once called Twitter. And I have some sessions coming up on October 2nd. I will be running Oathsworn over on Neon Lights Roleplay, which is my Greek mythology, high fantasy mix. They are the party has 60 days to figure out this Oath of Peace problem before it expires.
It's like a coupon.
It's like a coupon, and the time is running out, and it's very, they've got a magic ship, they've got a pretty cool crew. We'll see if it's enough. I mean, they've got to go literally fight God in 60 days or less. Otherwise, the Oath of Peace expires, and maybe the lands burn in fire. But they wouldn't know that because the person who was dating the Oracle absolutely broke her heart. Anyway, beyond that, I'll be here for Orville Blues. I'll be over on Neon Lights or Bioshadowed Peace, which is a 40k mystery game. So if you like me in mysteries, then you can definitely see me over there. It used to be nice. I could play God's Favorite Marine in 2 games, but now I'm just a big space marine eating people and getting their memory residual over there. On Wednesdays, it's a long story and complicated lore. Don't ask me questions, or do. My DMs are open, theoretically. But yeah, then I'll be back here on the 5th, and I'm really excited about it.
Awesome. You might not be God's favorite Marine in this game, but I'll tell you what, you're Justin's favorite himbo fireman. And I know that seems...
And Maples.
Well, I mean, I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but keep in mind that I have an uncle and 3 cousins on my father's side who are all firemen, and they're himbos. So, like, saying that you're my favorite, I mean, come on. It means something, buddy.
It means
anyway.
a lot.
It means a lot. We love you. And also, chat, we love you. Thank you to Lost Caravan for hosting and being a terrific home. Thank you to Epidemic Sound for spooky sounds. Thank you to the free voice mod thing.
For making my voice sound weird, like I'm on a telephone.
Or like I'm a weird demon. Like this.
We'll be back here next week. We'll have Liv with us. We are going to keep the operation going. But until we return, please don't forget to join the Lost Caravan Discord. It's a fun place full of fun people and has casting calls for fun games and also amazing things going on. So don't forget to jump in there and stick with us. I think, am I right? And somebody like Lonnie or Turk, somebody who knows more than I do, is there like a show every night this week? Like, it's a busy week.
Pretty much.
For this Twitch channel. So tune back in tomorrow night. And just, last night, Turk had Call of Cthulhu.
Oh,
It's like tomorrow's Avatar, and then I believe, oh gosh, let me pull up the Discord real fast, but I'm not sure if there's something tomorrow.
Tomorrow is Avatar, and then the 30th is Fabula Ultima.
30th is Fabula Ultima. Then the 1st is
okay.
Pathfinder. Don't know if there's... Oh, a second would be Dustgrave. I think it's back.
Ooh.
So a
Excellent.
Lancer game.
Well,
and then there's so much more. So yeah, keep it locked in.
excellent day. Well, in that case, you should all come back and check that out. So until we see you next week, everybody have a terrific week. And don't forget to complete your Seer Inc. Business simulation worksheets. Bye.
Nope.